This week on Two Bears, One Cave.
Blackie, you play drums, right?
For everyone listening, your character in General Hospital's name's Blackie.
Yeah. Good. Thank you for clarifying. You're right.
What did you guys talk about when you went to dinner? Like, if
Poop.
you would really?
Yeah, they were very foul. Poop and, inappropriate stuff.
Did Dave Coulier ever?
Shit his pants?
I haven't done one with Tom in a while because our schedules are chaotic.
You don't need him.
But like, I get
I mean, I live right down the street.
100%. Cheers. This episode of Two Bears, One Cave was brought to you by NASCAR. It is the last chance for drivers to cement their names in the record books, and you're not going to want to miss it. Invite your friends over, grab some beers, and tune in to watch the NASCAR Cup Series Championship at Phoenix on Sunday, November 5th at 3 p.m. Eastern on NBC. So that leather bag right there? Yeah. That was filled with marijuana, roughly 15 pounds. A couple months ago, Joey Diaz has
now it's empty?
And now it's empty.
Let's go, Greg. We've had enough.
I'm what they call California sober.
Yeah, what's that?
Where you do mushrooms and weed. I find weed to be a very helpful tool in empathy.
I could never negotiate pot. I always,
Really?
I would fall asleep, and it'd be like, "Who gave Stamos the pot?" He'd be sleeping over in the corner. I never got it.
Oh yeah, the first time you lost your virginity, or the time you lost your virginity. You smoked oregano.
Did you read this book?
I listened.
Did you read some of it?
I listened. I'm not.
Listen. Yeah, it's better.
Yeah,
I think. Huh?
Well, yeah, it is.
Can I say?
I had to slow down because I listened at 1.5. I had to slow down and go back to parts. I wanted to hear what Rickles called the Asian lady, and I had to listen to that twice because I was like, "Wait, what?" And then your dad with Frank Sinatra.
Yeah. So you like that's your scene, huh? The old Rat Pack kind of vibe. And
well,
stuff?
It's interesting. We have a lot of similarities. I am a massive Beach Boys fan.
Oh my God, this is going to be great. As we were driving over, and I said, I really love this guy, and he was filling me in on stuff. I said, we have absolutely nothing in common.
No, we have a lot.
Okay, good.
We have a lot. As a matter of fact, I say at our core, we're the same guy.
Really?
I don't mind. I don't mind celebrity. Like I kind of enjoy it.
I love it.
And and my buddy, my partner, who I do the podcast with normally, Tom,
he does
not like it. If he could do the job without fame, he would. I'd make fun of him in the past. I'd make fun of him for it, but now you just understand. There's certain people that I don't know. I guess I'm not really certain what the trappings brought them.
Right.
But for me, I don't mind it. There's a part in your book where you talk about going to Burning Man and wearing a costume so you don't get recognized.
Yeah, piss me off.
And then in a little bit, you're like, wait, whatever.
Where are the people? Yeah. First of all, can I say you and Tom are one of the new great comedy team of our generation. You guys are the perfect chemist, perfect two different guys. Your whole thing is fine. He tries to calm you down. Kind of like me. I mean, we were the poor men. You guys, like me and Saget. He was sort of neurotic.
Well, Dave and Saget were the first. It was cool when we found out you guys were all friends.
Yeah.
Because, I think back in the day, and this is the interesting thing about your book, and by the way, I've said the title of your book, I said it on a private jet the other day.
Right.
If you would have told me. If you would have told me.
Let me just say first, too, like, congratulations to you because you've risen higher than, anyone I'm sure would imagine.
That is exactly how I feel.
But you're a good man, you're a hard worker, and you're talented, and you got a great family. You love your family, and that's really great to see. I'm very happy for you. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, thank you very much.
And becoming famous is the greatest, right?
It's not that bad. Like people like I remember Rogan saying, and Rogan's one of my best friends, him saying, "I wish I could be less famous." I do understand that.
Why?
But I do understand him saying that because with fame comes a lot of he was getting a lot of negative attention. I understand that. I understand how nice it must be to just kind of like not be on Instagram at all and just live in that world.
Do you read the comments and stuff?
I don't read the comments.
People love you. Nobody has anything to say.
You could be shocked. Once you get to a certain threshold, it's the tide goes out.
I guess so. I've always been sort of at the lower end of the middle for like a long time.
Yeah, but even when you got busted in the car with the DUI, even to read those, you must have been like a little bit like, which I kind of thought like all you did was you thanked all the cops and everyone at Cedar Sinai, everyone. You thanked everyone. Yes. You kind of did it classy, but even still, that was probably the first backsplash of negative fame you got.
Yeah.
And
I think I was too fucked up to read it at that point.
Really?
Anyway, yeah.
GHBs.
But I deserved it. I mean, if anybody was saying anything bad about me, that was a low. I was going to meet Saget at the Palm. Were you guys friends, by the way?
Yeah.
Did you?
I wouldn't. Friends is a broad stroke. I knew Bob. I knew Bob. I worked with him a few times.
Yeah.
He was very generous to me.
Yeah.
And we did a couple podcasts together. I loved him. I thought he was the sweetest guy. He paid me $5,000 when he didn't need to pay me $500 one time.
For a blowjob, or what was it for?
It was a blowjob. It was a blowjob.
I love comedy. I love stand-ups, and that's part of my deal with Bob. I'm fascinated by what you guys do. I can't do it.
Really?
But I love the mechanics of it. I love the math of it, the way you have this ease that I haven't seen anyone have in a long time, where you just get out there and the shirt comes off. But
well, I think I've gotten more comfortable. Like, it's funny, I was thinking about how you've been famous since you were, 19? When did you do General Hospital?
18, I was 18.
18 years old?
Yeah.
And a fame when that fame doesn't exist anymore. That's only Justin Bieber fame now. Like, only Justin Bieber gets that level of what you got. Yeah. That Tiger beat. General Hospital was the biggest show.
Did you watch it? No, you didn't watch General Hospital.
Yeah, no, of course I did.
did.
Yeah. Of course I did. The General Hospital, only, I have to say this, the girls that I wanted to date were big General Hospital fans, so that would be our thing in the summer. We'd go over to the Tomato Twins' house, and we'd all watch General Hospital.
Twins?
Tomato Twins.
Did you
Cuban,
go out with both
beautiful.
of them?
I did go out with both of them.
Did you have sex with both of them?
No, I just made. I'm not.
Your wife's not.
I haven't had sex with a lot of people. Women.
Right. You okay? So wait. So what did it feel like when you when was the big first fame that you got? Like was it the Machine? Was that your first?
When the Machine story went viral.
That's a perfect special, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you very much. When the Machine story went viral. No, I'm gonna take that back. 1997 Rolling Stone magazine called me the #1 party animal in the country. I was in college and I was legit famous for. I didn't know that what it felt like then, but now I know what it feels like. I was legit famous. Like, everyone knew who I was on campus. They would point at me.
And it
they
felt
would
good, right?
stare at me. It did. It itched an itch I didn't know I needed itching. I remember being at a Blimpies. And
I've never been to one.
There was it's so good.
What is Blimpies?
Blimpies is a sandwich shop. Mostly, I think it's South Florida and Florida.
Yeah.
And they put so much meat on it. It's so good. It's so much better than Subway.
Blimpies.
And these girls were staring at me, and they were talking about me at a table over, and they were attractive.
Yeah.
And I was with my buddies, and they're like, these girls are like jocking us. And then one of the girls came over and go, "Are you Bert?" And I went, "I am." And they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're like real." And it was such a weird. You got to remember, I was never attractive. You were attractive your whole life.
No, I wasn't.
Well, yeah, you were.
No, well, I mean, I was gawky and dorky, and I was in.
It's still hard for me to realize that part of your life.
But I'm really I know people think they're good looking, say that all the time, but it really was, and I was, I wasn't good with the girls. I still am not, And there's a picture in my book of me doing puppets for some girl, and she's like, and then I went straight to the drums, and that changed that. But
there's that is an interesting side. The Knott's Berry Farm Disney magic side of you is like, I go, oh, of course he became an actor.
Right. But I wanted it first to be famous, but not just because we talk about being famous, but to be liked, to be accepted, to have girls or ever,
I can't understand people that don't need that. I want to be liked. I wanted people to want to get to know me.
Yes.
Like, I remember to this day, I go, if this is the craziest, but when I hear friends go, "You have to meet ... He is the funniest person I know." I would get offended my whole life going, "But you know me."
Yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, they were saying that. Yeah.
Why would you say that out loud? I'm sitting right here.
Yeah.
Clearly, I'm the funniest person you know.
Yeah. Someone said that about me, and you got to meet Rob Lowe. He's the most handsome. I'm like, no, I'm kidding. I heard you slobbering over Rob Lowe on the show.
Rob's had a fascinating, very different than you, I would say, because they partied really hard. Right. You were always like a straight-laced dude.
At Disneyland. But my wife finally called me on it. We went to one of our first dates. We were at Disney World, and we were at Epcot. And I had glasses on, a hat, and I'm walking around trying to be, and nobody's recognizing me. I was like, oh shit, well, maybe I'll take the glasses off. So I'm sort of trying to make eye contact, I'm trying to get laid, but no, it's not. And I said, my hair's famous. I got to take my fucking hat off. Took the hat off, and still kind of, I was like, can I have some mercy up there? So finally, people started recognizing me and coming up, and she's just there to watch. I said, I'll be right with you. I got my fans. She goes, that was terrible. That doesn't interest me at all. That doesn't turn me on. And then it's a term she calls epcotting, like peacocking or something, but epcotting. So don't epcot over here.
That's really
And
interesting.
then I said, will you marry me?
My wife
Your wife,
has,
same thing?
No, we call it going to Paramus.
What's that? Is
So
that how?
there's a movie called Soap Dish with Sally
Yeah,
Fields.
yeah.
And
Gary Marshall.
Yeah.
Was in it.
And when
Oh, she went to the mall. Is that right? Yeah.
they go, she's feeling down about herself. Let's take her to Paramus.
Right,
and so
right.
they go to Paramus.
Yeah.
We call going to Paramus. We also go to Paramus when we're on tour and you got extra tickets to sell. You're like, let's go to Paramus. Let's go to the mall
go.
and let's clean up the arena.
Now, Tom won't go to the mall.
No. Oh.
He's
I mean, I want to make jokes about him.
Let's do
and
it.
mock him.
Yeah.
But there's a part of me that in this conversation,
Yes.
I find very unique is that Tom is very specific. Like he's not impressed by celebrity. I definitely am. Like if I got a call one time to work out with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I was like, "I'll be there no matter what.
Yeah,
I'll drop
yeah.
everything." Tom literally would be like, "Yeah, I can't make it."
Yeah, but he talks about Brad Pitt. Doesn't he be in his best friend or something?
Yeah,
It's in his act.
Yeah, but it's not real.
Oh, okay.
He did it for a bit.
Right.
Like he just needed a bit.
He
had-
seems like he doesn't care about that kind of stuff.
He does. He does in a weird way. Like he becomes like if you met Tom, he wouldn't. He's really good at making friends,
Uh-huh.
and then I'm not good at making friends. I'm just not good at making friends.
Really?
Like
You're so
like,
friendly
We'll
and
hang out,
nice.
we'll talk, and then
Yeah.
we'll at the end you'll be like, "Do you like cigars?" I go, "I love cigars." You go, "We should have a cigar," and I go, "Yeah," and then I'll never call you back.
Okay.
And so I have a weird thing with like I don't know why. Like I'm weird at boundaries. Rogan was the one I've said this a number of times.
Right.
Had to pull me aside and be like, "Man, we're trying to be your friend, and you're not letting us." And I was like, "Yeah, but I don't understand why dudes like." I already have a wife and kids. What do I need friends for? And then I realized, friends are fucking super valuable to talk shit about your wife and kids about.
Yeah, who else are you going to talk to?
Yeah.
And who makes more money? You're Tom.
Uh,
You're selling more.
no.
bigger
I mean, no.
player.
I mean, I
I should
don't
shut
know.
up because
No,
I love
no.
him and he'll eviscerate me. Probably.
No. Tom has I think his podcast, Your Mom's House, is very
Right.
profitable. I don't think he's touring right now. So it's anytime anyone's touring, I definitely do bigger venues than he does.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he knows that.
Okay, good.
He's done an arena, I do arenas. So like whereas Tom has done an arena,
one here, there.
he's primarily his comfort levels theaters, that's where he really can sell
Right.
tickets.
One truck. Well,
Yeah,
not
I
even. You have
I have like 5 semis and
6.
3 tour buses.
Right.
He has he flies.
Yeah.
He flew Southwest recently. So
okay, there you go.
yeah.
He's not going to watch this, is he?
No, he will definitely watch this.
So hi.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
a
the other
big
part of
fan.
Tom is there's
big fan of Tom. I really am. We have the GHB in common. That was my downfall. But didn't he have a thing? He was taking GHB.
But you were doing it to stay skinny too, right?
I was doing it. Yes, and it was a sexual. Was he doing it to get skinny?
No, Tom was doing it to party.
Well, I did that too. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
GHB is a motherfucker.
Terrible.
I took GHB
Did
on
you?
a rock
Today?
in Greece.
Oh, great.
in Greece.
Really?
Corfu.
Wow.
Yeah.
My
Pink
my
Palace.
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
How was it?
This was awesome. We just thought it was liquid ecstasy, and we had so
Yeah,
much fucking fun.
It makes you very sexual, but it's terrible. Kids out there do not, because you could do it 5 times the same way, and 1, 2, 3, party. 5th time, you get
Yeah.
past it. And that's what happened.
Well, the dosage of it was always skeptical. They're like,
Right.
"Here, take a capful," and you're like, "Oh, did someone measure this out?"
Yeah, no, right. You get a drink with it.
Wait, where did you get GHB from?
Well, some guy, some waiter somewhere.
Really?
Yeah. Do you want his number?
No, but I'm curious about your partying time because I never knew you to be even a drink dude.
Right. Well, some people was like, "Oh, good, he needs to go away," and others were like, "Really? I didn't even know." Howard Stern. Do you like Howard? Are you?
I do like Howard.
Have you been on? You must have been.
No.
Really?
No, I
Seriously?
think I missed that whole ship has sailed for me. I think pretty notoriously he hates Joe Rogan.
Right.
And
and you're Joe.
and I'm
Rogan guy.
Joe's friend.
Well, I'll talk you up next week.
Yeah, please.
But he.
I think he does. Like it seems like Howard interviews Steven Spielberg, and like he's only in doing like the really, really. Does he leave his house?
He has been lately. He
Really?
went in for Keith Richards and who else was on Simon Paul Simon.
So were you a Howard guy even before he was like serious Howard?
Yeah.
He was so fucking good.
Yeah, he still is.
He still is. He's the best interviewer there is. He's the best
hands
interviewer
down,
there
the
is.
greatest. And I bet you guys would like each other.
I would be nervous that Howard would find the value in interviewing me, trying to because sometimes there are some people find the the currency in something. You know, like that's what I'm always nervous about these days. If you don't know me and I haven't been on your show, like sometimes people bring me on their show just to shit on Rogan, and you're like, "Oh, I'm not going to do that." So you're like, that would be my fear.
He wouldn't do that. No, I don't think so. He would ask questions like I am, like, when you were famous first? What's that like? How was your family? How do you get away with talking about your family and act? Does that ever come up?
Well, it's definitely.
You get in trouble?
It's definitely toothpaste I cannot get back in the tube.
Right.
In hindsight,
How old are your daughters now?
I don't know.
Okay.
19 and 17.
No shit.
This episode of Two Bears, One Cave is brought to you by NASCAR. The championship 4 drivers have been decided, and it's time to see who has what it takes to crown themselves a champion of the NASCAR Cup Series forever. These relentless competitors have given their blood, sweat, and tears all season long, but there's one track left to prove they deserve the title, and that's Phoenix Raceway. A win here is more important than all others for the top 4 drivers, and they'll do whatever it takes to immortalize themselves as NASCAR Cup Series champion on the sport's biggest stage. Known for its signature dogleg section of the racetrack that allows drivers to fan out and race 4, sometimes even 5 wide, there will be no shortage of excitement out in the desert. This is the last chance for drivers to cement their names in the record books, and you're not going to want to miss it. Invite over your friends, grab some beers, and tune in to watch the NASCAR Cup Series Championship at Phoenix on Sunday, November 5th at 3 p.m. Eastern on NBC.
We are supported by Dr. Squatch. Dr. Squatch is running their biggest deal ever for new customers. Buy 3, get 3 free. You can use the link below to take advantage of this amazing offer. You buy 3 soaps, and guess what? You get 3 soaps for free. That's $28 of total savings and just $4 per bar. Dr. Squatch sent a bunch of soaps to the studio for us, and we couldn't believe how good they smelled. Literally, the whole group is talking about it. My favorite is the pine tar scent, and all of these scents are fresh and masculine without any nasty chemicals. You guys got to take advantage of this amazing deal while it lasts. New Dr. Squatch customers will receive 3 free soaps when you purchase the buy 3, get 3 bundle at drsquatch.com/2bears1cave. If you've ever wanted to try Dr. Squatch, now is the perfect time to try them out and support the show. Click the link below.
Now, I watched The Machine recently, and I for some reason I thought that was your latest. Obviously, it wasn't. But talking about your daughter, like, you know, does she come back and go, Dad, do you remember when you said I was this?
So when I did Hey Big, I think it was Hey Big Boy, me and her were in the pool. Isla and I were in the pool.
Isla, that's right.
And I said to her, hey, I talk about you a lot in this special. Like, I never really ran this by you. Are you cool with it? She was young at the time, and she said, you know you love me, so I know what a joke is. I understand jokes. She goes, the only part I'm not cool with is people knowing me who I don't know. So the fame thing that is enticing to me,
right,
when you haven't requested it, it can be terrifying, I guess. When
Right,
people know you and you're just trying to be a 6th grader,
right,
and people are like staring at you and going, "That's the girl." That's the part she doesn't like, and that's. I mean, I wish I could fix that, but at the same time, it's
buy
like
her a car. You can
or
fix
teeth.
it that way. Yeah,
I got her teeth.
Teeth. Oh, did you? Really?
Yeah, teeth and. Yeah, I can send her to college. I can send her sister to college.
Yeah.
They really
Are they super proud of you? They got to be, huh?
I think we do a tour in the summer called Fully Loaded, and when they see, I think there's a moment where my kids, like there's a moment where, because it's all arenas and it's all 10 of the best comics every week, or 10 of the best comics are with us. We're on 5 different tour buses, 7 tour buses. I mean, it's really packed. It's stacked. It is. And every morning we would get together. Everyone would have breakfast at catering. And it is 10 of the funniest human beings ever. We're laughing hysterically. My daughters are there. My wife's there. Our teams are there. Like family. It really is like family. Yeah. And then we'd go off to float a river or go work out at University of Nebraska or do something fun. And then we'd do a sold out show. And then we'd party until 3 a.m. and get on tour buses and then wake up and do the same thing over. And my daughter Georgia was sitting at the table when everyone starts to dissipate and it's just me and her. And she just goes, "This is fucking awesome."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, you get like how great this job is." Right. Even doing Two Bears, I haven't done one with Tom in a while because our schedules are chaotic.
You don't need him.
But like I get.
Sorry, go ahead. I mean, I live right down the street. If you ever need him, we got GHB in common.
Yeah.
Sorry, I hope he doesn't hear this.
No, Tom.
So wait, so I'm all over the place. So your daughter got it. That's the beauty of it, right? A family affair, and those are memories that they will have for the rest of their lives. They'll remember those beautiful moments with you.
Well, it's funny to watch when you watch people blow up. Like right now, Shane Gillis is his special's doing really well, and he's having I guess what they say in the industry, a moment. He's blowing up, and and I've been friends with Shane for a very long time, and my daughter has been a fan of Shane's. Right. Before any of this was happening, when in her book, Shane was like the edgy guy that had gotten in trouble through SNL. And so her and her friend Daisy think Shane's hilarious. They love Shane. So to watch Shane get really famous and to watch all these boys at their colleges idolize Shane now, those two have they've got a thing are you talking about Shane?
Oh, he's like our uncle.
Yeah, and so, same with Joey Diaz. They know Joey Diaz as Uncle Joey.
Right.
They don't know, they'd never seen him do stand-up until we were on tour together. Or Tom, they don't think they've known Tom since they were in diapers and in diapers.
They don't think he's funny, huh?
No one in my family finds Tom funny.
I'm gonna get killed. I love this Tom Segura. So that's good. So back to, did you ever see when I brought Rickles into Howard Stern? Did you see that?
I didn't
video
see that episode, but
I
heard you talk about it. You said that you had a new girlfriend and you want to introduce.
Yeah, right.
Rickles was the fucking greatest
ever. Did you meet him?
No, I never met
him. Oh,
him.
really? Oh, man, that's too bad.
Mr. Warmth was fucking insane.
He deserved it. He when I met him, he was everybody thought he was dead. I mean, he wasn't. There was no Mr. Warmth. There was no these tributes to him and stuff. And I just paid attention to him. Well, that's how it is with a lot of these guys. I just paid attention, took him to dinner, and we hung out. He didn't love comics. It took me a while to wedge in Saget, and then he loved Saget. It took me even longer to get Jeff Ross in there because
really,
because he thought he was doing his thing,
Yeah.
But he was. We were like school. We would talk on the phone all the time, and he was like we would. He just was, and then he sort of became like a second father to me, and I just spent a lot of time with him and his wife, and I miss him. But I love, like I was saying earlier, I love stand up, and he was obviously the master, and to watch him work and figure out how he worked. One time for my birthday, he said, "What do you want for your birthday?" I said, "I want to listen to Hello Dummy, and I want to ask you about the." No, you can't do that. I said, "You asked me what I want." No, I got it. So we sit down, and then we're listening to it, and I try to stop it, and I said, "How did you shut up? I'm listening to myself. I'm great. I'm funny. I haven't heard this." But he never heard. I got to show him on YouTube his Carson interviews that he hadn't seen the Tonight Show, and that was really a treat too.
He was so good. My favorite parts of Rickles as a comic is when you can see he surprises himself, especially on Carson, where he would where you could see he goes he'd smile to himself.
Yeah, right.
He was fucking genius. You have a respect for all those guys.
Yes.
Did that? I was wondering where it comes from because I have a lot of friends that love the Rat Pack. I was a Rat Pack fan from afar in the art of it. I loved 5 dudes on stage screwing around.
Yeah.
I never wanted to try to replicate it. I have a bunch of friends who've tried to embody the Rat Pack.
Right.
I've never been that guy. Or if I was in the Rat Pack, I'd be the guy. I would have been Joey Lawrence. I would have been the one they're making fun of.
Joey Lawrence?
Well, not Joey Lawrence. Joey Bishop. Joey Lawrence.
Joey
Lawrence is a great guy.
Yeah,
I love Joey
great.
Lawrence. My bad, Joey.
Yeah, sorry. Joey.
But I would have been Joey Bishop. I would have been Dean. I would have been Dean, where everyone's he's the drunk. But
it was magical what they had, right? And I have this great. So one of the Beach Boys, Carl Wilson, who passed away, he was married to Dean Martin's daughter, Gina. And when Carl had cancer, and I went to see him, and Dean had given Gina this bootleg of the Rat Pack, and to cheer up Carl, she would play it, and it it didn't really work, and so she gave it to me. I'll send it to you. It's no one's heard it before. It's just the three of them on stage in Chicago. I think it's incredible. Gary Marshall used to write jokes for them too. He'd sit in the audience. Yeah, he was another one of my my guys. Did you ever meet Gary?
No, I sat next to Penny Marshall at a Coldplay concert once.
Close.
And
enough.
Penny Marshall and Brittany Murphy went to a Coldplay concert together.
Dead.
I'm here.
You are?
Yeah.
How old are you?
50. It took a second. I was definitely the one partying the hardest that night too.
Penny used to party.
Penny, that's what. Yeah.
I saw her at a strip club once with the basketball player.
Penny Hardaway.
No,
that would have
no.
been cool. Penny Hardaway. And
I'm
Penny.
sorry. What he likes China.
Dennis
He's
Rodman?
close- Yeah, Rodman. And he and my friend was. By the way, this is one thing we don't have in sports because I don't know anything about sports.
I
at
know.
all.
I just barely know a little.
Please, that's all you.
Yeah.
I played a coach in a basketball show. Did you ever see that show?
What's that?
Big Shot. It was called. I played this. I played a coach who got kicked out of the NC. What is it? The college team.
NCAA?
NCAA. Yeah. And you remember when Dean used to pick up Sammy and say, "I'd like to thank the NCAA for this award." And he gets in trouble for throwing a chair, and I have to go. I had to work my way back up at an all-girls private high school in Laguna.
Yeah.
It was a good show. David Kelly was right. But I digress. What were we talking about?
Oh,
Dennis Rodman. And Penny's here. My best friend Mike's here, who's bald. And Rodman comes up behind him and rubs his balls on my friend's head. Like it's like it's like, what the shit is Dennis Rodman balls? I think the two of them were together that night too.
Really?
Yeah.
What? How long did you live with your parents for?
I lived till I was about 21.
Yeah.
I moved up to when I was on General Hospital. I moved up during the week, but then I'd go home on the weekends. And me and my friend Roger Lodge, he was remember he was from a Blind Date. Roger Lodge, a friend of mine who I grew up with. We stayed at the Barham apartment. We thought it was the greatest.
I know those
They
Barham
got
apartments.
free breakfast on Sundays, and I got a movie, and we had a one room, like a studio apartment, and so we lived at the Oakwood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your mom. The funniest or the interesting part is I know now dudes. It's very Greek and Italian to stay with your parents later in life.
Yeah.
But it's funny to hear you doing it, and you're on General Hospital, and that fucking. For lack of better terms, I know this is a person in your life, but the person who discovered you in Tiger Beat ended up dating Richard Ramirez.
Marrying him. Yeah.
The fuck?
Man,
that is fucking insane.
I didn't think I had a book in me until I started writing it.
Are you serious?
I was discovering my story and remembering all these things.
You could have, what's so funny is I think there's actually 2 books in it, in that the first part of your childhood is really fascinating because you're so honest and so vulnerable, and you tell everything, I don't know, and I thought, wow, it's, as I got to the second half, I was like, there's another, I could even go deeper on the second half. You really kind of like grazed over the whole Rebecca Romaine Stamos thing, which is such a fucking,
is it?
Well, you got to remember, you guys were the first kind of big couple in all those couples things. I never heard of the lady. I refuse. That's insensitive. I'd never heard of her until you started dating her, and then she became in the fucking X-Men, and it's and then there's so much, you and Saget, you and Full House, there's so much more to you that I was like, this could have been 2 books for me. Your father and your mother seem fucking so cool.
I was so grateful to have them. Are you close to your parents?
I am.
So
I am very. And
are they here today?
Your mom losing her mother.
Yeah.
I was actually oh fuck.
Did that happen to you?
No. But they're gonna die one day.
Yeah. Well, did you? In the chapter about just losing my mom, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
And my dad too. My mom wrote me these beautiful notes, and that was part of the. They just tried to get me to write a book. And I was like, I have no. And Bob died, and I wrote this obituary in the LA Times. They said, "Oh, you should write. That was really good." I didn't remember writing it, and then I have a son now who's 5.5, and then I said, "Oh, I have all these notes from my mom. Let me look at those." And I laid them out, and I was like, "Okay, now I think I can patch a story together."
Your mom loved you.
Yeah, yours too. Same.
My mom loves me.
Where is she? Where do they live?
In Tampa. It's
Did
cool.
you buy them a big house and everything?
No, they had money.
But they did?
Yeah,
You're a rich kid?
No, but they had money. They didn't. They don't have my money.
What? You never buy?
They definitely don't have my money.
My parents.
I haven't bought them shit.
Why?
I don't know. They have money.
Fired.
You guys got money. That does okay.
Bob, what did they do?
He's like a lawyer.
Oh, really?
He's like a teacher.
I pictured you growing up in the woods with Deliverance or something.
No.
My mom. That's why you like Burt Reynolds.
No, I love Burt Reynolds.
Our friend Garcia brought you something very special. Huh?
Oh, that is fucking one of the best gifts It's hard to buy someone something these days. That's
what your parents were saying about you. It's not that hard for him to buy something for us. Why don't you get him a car?
Oh.
Should we call him now?
You know what my dad said to me? It's so funny. The lease was up in my Mercedes, and my dad said, I love that car. And he was like hinting at it. And I was like, oh, yeah. And then I was like, I just said to Leanne, I was like, yeah, we should definitely buy it. My dad really would have wanted it.
So you grew up with money? Or
No,
like in
no.
Florida?
My dad worked
Are they still together, your parents?
Yeah.
That's great.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Do you ever feel like your brain's getting in its own way? Ooh. Man, that is a very true statement. Sometimes your brain isn't working in the right direction. It's forcing you to think about things you don't want to think about or things you did in the past. Or you ever say something to someone and then you go, God, that came out wrong. And then all night you're up thinking about it and going, I know what I should do. I should just go to bed and ignore it. I'm thinking about myself more than they're thinking about me. Well, you know what you can do? Therapy. Therapy helps you figure out what's holding you back so you can work for yourself instead of against yourself. I've been in therapy on and off since I met Leanne. Every time I get off, I find that I'm good for a little bit, and then I start noticing things are rearing its head like whack-a-mole, and then all of a sudden, all the gophers are up at the same time, and I'm like, all right, time to go back to therapy. If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule, which for me, that is the deal breaker. I have to do online therapy. All you have to do with BetterHelp is fill out a brief questionnaire, get matched with a licensed therapist. You can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Make your brain your friend with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/bears today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/bears.
We've all been there in the bad seat. You know, like being smushed in the middle seat of a station wagon on a long trip or the last row of a cramped plane. That's the absolute worst. Or you get in the car with somebody and you're just kind of cramped up. You feel it in your neck, you feel it in your shoulders, and you can't wait for the ride to end so you can finally stretch out. Lexus's new TX is a 3-row SUV that considers every single passenger, no matter where they sit. The new TX features comfortable leather captain's chairs and a spacious third row. They've got leg room, elbow room, cargo room, and there are cup holders and USB chargers for all. Finally, a 3-row SUV where everybody wins. The first ever Lexus TX. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
My dad worked for the Church of Scientology. Which,
No shit.
Which, interestingly enough, you were lured into, and I love that your Greek Orthodox upbringing just was like, hello? Like, you just were like so untouched by Scientology.
But I was also like an asshole. Like, I mean, I didn't give a fuck because I didn't get how, that they can kill me now.
Yeah.
But the what is that?
They do the readings.
The readings, but it was like two cans, like
they put them in your hands.
Yeah,
and
I try to make it old time. Hey, hello, and I'm Sherman, when's the Wayback Machine? They're like, get out. We don't want him.
My dad
but
worked,
so he did?
worked for L. Ron
Is
Hubbard.
he still? Why? So
by the way, just recently, my dad asked me to stop saying this.
Well, let's talk about it.
He goes, buddy, you gotta fucking. I'm a lawyer. I'm not supposed to tell people what I fucking do.
How did he? Is he still with them?
No.
Does he know Travolta?
No. But my dad just recently was like, "This, you cannot say this." Like, but part of me goes, I don't really give a fuck because I'm like, I remember they worked for the Church of Scientology, and he was like, they're. By the way, I know he'd be rolling over. He'd be like, what the fuck?
Let's call him. See if they're home. Either one of them. Do they know who I am?
I don't know.
Okay, well,
I wonder if my dad does.
Your dad probably doesn't. He's a lawyer.
Let's see.
Your mom.
Or maybe, you know what I'll do? I'll FaceTime him so we can see
that's
you.
what I'm saying. Let's see.
He's like, buddy, I remember he texted me, you got to stop with the fucking Scientology shit.
Okay, we'll stop after
Apparently,
my show.
Hey.
Is that your dad?
This is my dad. Hey, Dad, do you know who John Stamos is?
Sure I do.
Yeah.
That's him right there.
Oh, that's him right there.
Hey, hi, Mr. How do you say last name? Kreischer, hi.
Hey, I can't believe Bert doesn't recognize you.
Well, he doesn't. Now we know where you got the comedy from. Are you? How are you, sir? You're in Florida now. Good to see you. You're in Florida.
Yes, I am.
I'm gonna come visit. The Beach Boys are there this week.
For real?
Yeah. Do you like the Beach Boys, sir?
Yeah, but there's someone else here. Who else is here?
Doesn't matter.
Billy Joel are here
Oh,
as well.
wow. But You like them better than the Beach Boys? No. Is that your? Is that? Oh yeah, Billy Joel's great.
Billy
You should go
Joel's
see
great.
Billy Joel. Your son can buy you some tickets if he's not so cheap. Yeah. We were just talking about you, and I asked him about you guys because I had very good parents, and he said he loves his parents. He's very close to you guys. I said, "Have you bought him anything?" And he said, "No, I haven't. I have not bought him anything."
Yeah.
And my dad wants a car, but he he said that a nice one, yeah. But he said you guys were great parents, and he loves you dearly, and that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Super proud too when he became famous and everything and successful.
I'm very proud he's got people like you on his podcast. It's very impressive.
Your
Yeah.
dad's a charmer.
Hey, Dad. John, when he was younger, got brought in by the church
What church?
of Scientology.
We're not talking about that, Bert.
And we're not talking about them, Bert.
All right.
What's the matter with you?
All right. I'm done.
Where's your mom?
All right.
at?
I love you.
Where's the mom?
All right.
I love you.
Hell, Ron
Where's,
would hate that.
where's your mom? Is your mother? Where's the mother?
Wait. John wants to talk to Mom.
Oh, hi. Oh, what's her name?
Gigi.
Gigi. Hi, Mom. How? Right, but you're Bert's mom, and that's pretty cool. Do the name? How are you doing, Gigi? Is Gigi short for
From Margaret.
Margaret?
Margaret Mary, Irish Catholics, they don't know how to give nicknames.
Gigi's sexier, I think. I was brought up Catholic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's Greek, Mom.
Oh, they're Catholic.
Oh, Mom's got her hair done. Holy shit.
She knew we were calling.
I don't do my hair when I'm with you. There's no reason.
Okay.
Do you have siblings?
2 sisters.
Two
She has
sisters.
2 sisters.
Yeah, I have two. We have some. We do have.
Yeah, we have a lot in
common.
common.
Well, I'm going to continue to talk to your son, but it was nice to see you guys.
All right. I love you.
I love you. Okay. She's like,
All right. I love
Thank
you, Mom.
you.
I'll talk to you later.
bye, Gigi.
Yeah, he sent me a text. He was
I
like, "You got to stop fucking talking about this." But it's already done. I think I mentioned it on Rogan.
How did he get out? How did he get out? Or he
It
wasn't.
I don't know. I'm not supposed to talk about it. He stopped work. They. I don't know. But so my point is, we didn't have a ton of money then, and then he got money. He made money when I went to college. When I left for college, like towards the very end of my college, all of a sudden my sister Cotty was like, Dad's doing really good. Dad sold his company, and when I moved to New York, when I got my first development deal, my dad sold. This is all stuff that would make my dad so fucking uncomfortable. But he sold his company, and he had his first nest egg of like, I'm good. I can breathe.
Yeah.
But my dad was always a paycheck to paycheck kind of guy.
But were you famous by then already, making money?
No, I didn't get famous. I didn't really get famous until I was like 40 something.
How old are you now? In the
50.
50s?
44 was, I think, when I started like really selling tickets.
Yeah.
Is at 44.
Did you think, God, I'm never gonna make it like some of these
of
friends?
course.
Stuff. Do you know
But
Giannis Papas?
Yeah, very well.
Greek guy. He's my buddy, and we called him on the way over here. He needs to get where you guys are. I don't know why he hasn't yet. But
No, it happens differently for everyone.
Right.
Like people said that about me. They're like, people would sit me down and say you're funny as shit.
Yeah.
For me, it was always like I was more about, because I had kids, I was about making money. So I'd take a job at a travel channel and I would do work that no one was going to see, but it paid well.
Right.
Or at least I thought it paid well until I started podcasting. And then I was like, fuck, this pays way better.
Is this where the first dough started coming? The podcast or the big shows? Big shows.
No. So I was at Travel Channel. I was making, I'm guessing, and by the way, I talk too much, but $7,000 an episode, or like maybe $10,000 an episode.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was like, I was like, that's fucking money.
I made $450 on per episode on General Hospital.
For real?
Yeah. And then the second year, I was only 2 years, and then my contract was up, and I said, I'm leaving. And they're like, well, hold it,
And then wait, you
Gloria-
went from General Hospital to your first pilot.
With General Hospital to a CBS deal that I had with John Peters, who, do you know who he was?
I do.
He was Barbara Streisand's hair.
Yeah.
One of the first bullies that I ran into in the.
Is he the one that threw you up against the wall?
Yeah.
He was a fucking ass.
Fucking
He's
hell, these
dead,
guys-
right?
No, not yet. He is now. He turned to Scientology, and your dad's gonna have to. What? How did you? So anyway, yeah. So you made $7,000. That's a lot of
$7,000
money.
money was a lot of money. I was like, $5,000 was what I made on my first TV show ever. The X show. I made $5,000 a week.
Which one was that? What is that?
On FX. It was day and date. You shot basically 5 days in a row. It was awesome. I didn't realize how great my life was.
Yeah.
At that moment, I had a community of a TV show was out every
it's
day.
great, right? Yeah.
So fucking good. Someone told you that, I think. I think I might have heard that in your book about just how great it was. Like when you got plugged into General Hospital about like,
Yeah,
oh,
family. Yeah, it's your family. Yeah.
Oh, it's fucking amazing. And then, so $5,000, I did the math wrong. I thought that made me a millionaire. And so I was like, that was my goal, is to make $5,000 a week. So even in stand-up, I wasn't making that. And then when I did my Travel Channel show, I was making like $7,000, and I knew, now I did the math, and I was like, okay, that doesn't make me a millionaire. But when I did my first podcast read, I was getting, I'll say the real numbers, but I think I was getting like $1,500 per read.
What's that mean?
Or
You
12
mean, for the
read.
commercials and stuff?
And I did 7 reads.
Okay.
Or maybe it was $1,200. And I did 7 reads. And I was like, and I did the math, and I wasn't paying managers or agents. And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm done with television.
Yeah.
We had a similar experience.
I didn't have a bear sit on my face, though.
No. But you talked about being turned off. I forget what it is, but being like in a situation where you're like, this is gross. This isn't where I want to be. This isn't what I want to be doing. And I had a moment like that where on television where I was like, I'm done with television. I just want to do podcasts.
Because you got a lot more control here, obviously.
A lot more. And I, in all honesty, this is going to sound crazy, but I probably couldn't get you for a TV show.
What do you mean?
Like if I had a TV show and we were trying to get you as a guest starring, it would be really difficult.
I don't think so.
You'd be shocked.
Yeah.
Trust me, I had a show called The Cabin on Netflix.
Yeah, never saw it. That's
to get talent. Oh, it was a great show.
Was it?
It was fucking
yeah.
probably one of the better shows I've ever done, and probably one of the most well received shows I've ever done.
And
getting talent was impossible.
Fuck 'em.
Impossible.
Fuck them.
Because once you get agents and managers and everyone's involved, then it becomes so fucking complicated.
And people want to come on this show.
But on podcasts, you have a great book and you want to promote it. And in a weird way, I don't think people understand podcasting yet.
Right.
You do, I think, because you're friends with Giannis.
Yeah, I'm friends with Giannis.
I think that. So
Josh
I think
Peck, has had one for one time. You were on his show. It was great.
I love him.
But Howard, he
Howard's-
started this.
Howard's a legend.
Yeah, but to be able to talk for an hour and a half, how long does this show go? So we're almost
Probably
done?
an hour
Kidding.
15.
No,
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
no.
But to talk, because the book, you can't, I'm doing all these talk shows next week, and you got like 3 jokes, you got to get out and a thing, and then goodbye. But to sit and talk about, I just read, I did a piece in the New York Times, and I read it this morning. It was fine, but it was hard. It was a lot, and they were cramming everything in, and this and that, and they had some things. And I'm grateful. To be in the New York Times is pretty cool. But to sit and be able to really just talk out stuff with you, and you're smart, you're funny, your parents are attractive.
Your audiobook will kill it.
I like doing that a lot.
And I'll tell you why, because you read it.
You listen to me a little fast?
I listen to you fast.
So how did I sound like
I'll tell you.
And then when
I
you
got it
heard
on
sex
Google
or
Play.
vagina or something, then you slowed it down?
I would slow it down if you said something. Like
Okay.
there was a couple times.
I never
this is
didn't
what you
think
sound
about
like.
this.
Chapter 28. Blunder down under.
Mhm.
I promise myself that I will not drink at work. Not during the day while out.
You probably relate to some of this. Are you you're not drinking now? Is it-
Not right now, but I'm not sober.
Yeah.
I'm not.
But you seem to have it under control, yes?
Yeah, I guess.
Should
I don't
we-
know.
Should we call your wife?
I would. We were
kidding.
just because I read this. Your book opens with your
DUI,
getting
yeah.
a DUI.
Yeah.
And I'm going through a lot of the what I would argue is trying to figure out when I drink and why I drink. Like meaning, what is the thing that because I absolutely don't need to drink. I don't need to drink to get on stage, and I don't need to drink to go to bed, and I don't need to drink. I definitely don't need to drink during the days. I often don't. But here's the thing. I really love
You love it.
day drinking.
Okay,
Day drinking
yeah.
is one of the funnest
I did
things in
too.
the world.
And at Disneyland, I loved to drink at Disneyland. during the
Oh
day, yeah.
my God.
Because it was, I miss that sometimes. That's the
You
only
don't
reason.
drink at all anymore?
Mm-mm.
And you just, after that DUI, you were like, I'm done.
Well, I went to rehab, and
How was rehab?
it was difficult. I mean, but I had to do it. I was bad. I mean, I was confusing the universe. I wasn't living up to my potential. You seem to, a lot of people can do just fine, and they put it away when they have to. And like you're saying, I don't have to drink it during the day. I don't have to drink at night. I don't have to drink to get on stage. But I like to do it. It just made everything better, I thought, but it certainly wasn't.
Like when you were partying your hardest, what did it look like? Would you drink during the day?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I was
'Cause
on
you
ER.
talked about you talked about cleaning up. You're like, if I had work to do, I would stop drinking and I'd sweat it out. And I was like, I never had to sweat it out.
Oh, really? Well, then you're fine. I mean,
Yeah.
I would, I'd have to sweat it out. But then after a while, I just couldn't stop. I just needed it, to
Really?
do it, shaky and stuff.
You said Ambien was harder to kick than alcohol.
Yeah. It was difficult to fall asleep without it, but it's been close to 8 years. It was over 8 years now.
8 years.
Yeah, it's unbelievable because I would drink all the time. But it was preventing me from what I really wanted was a family. I wanted a wife and a kid.
Yeah.
And now that I have, now I have it. I'm so grateful that but I would have not had it if I didn't clean up. But people could see it on me, and you'd get drunk and then it would just be low-hanging fruit and just to satisfy this urge of loneliness or whatever it might be. And
Do you realize how many of us would settle for your low-hanging fruit? Like if I bet they'd throw some fucking heat towards my wife if I saw your low-hanging fruit.
The one on the right.
Dude, the one that slept with Tony Danza is still hot as fuck.
Yeah,
and she's got to be 60. She's still fucking hot.
But see, like
Terry, what's her name?
Copley.
Terry, pull her up. She's beautiful today. She's beautiful today.
That was the stuff that I discovered where I was like I was writing about her and I was so heartbroken that I caught her in bed. I caught her in bed with Tony Danza, and then I was busted up, and then years later we're doing Full House, and the first season didn't bomb, but it wasn't doing great. It was on the bubble.
Yeah, that's interesting you say that.
And they towards the end they were like we don't know if this is going to work and. But we're going to put it on one of our hit shows during the summer and see if it gets an audience. If it does, then maybe you guys can come back. They put us on after one of their hit shows. We garner this big audience. Season 2, we're a hit. The show was Who's the Boss? So Tony Danza fucked me over here, and I wouldn't be here right now probably without the success.
Well, he got your sloppy seconds, and then you took his.
Yeah, but he had her. No, actually, there you go. Yeah, that's right.
He
yes.
had your sloppy seconds, and then
sense.
you picked up his for the
after
lead
the
in.
show. I should have used that. Next time I
you had a line that made me laugh out loud. And I almost wrote it down. And I forgot what the line was, and I was like, "That's a fucking funny line."
What was it about?
It was I don't know. I can't remember.
Garcia will claim that he wrote it, but he would. He lives down the street. We've been friends for 30 years.
He's a genius.
He is a genius.
I want to say Tom introduced me to him at first. And the reason we have Jimmy Tatro in our in my movie is because of him.
Who?
Jimmy Tatro is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, funny guy.
He's fucking phenomenal.
When I need joke, I'll text him, and he'll be like, this kid's soccer game, whatever, and like 10 seconds later, boom.
Sweet, you met your wife, right? Your current wife. You met her totally sober.
Yes, yeah.
Really?
She would have run for the hills. She's too sharp. I mean,
Yeah.
she calls me out for epcotting that,
Yeah.
She, yeah. And, if I was I just turned 60. If I was 60 and didn't have a wife and kid, I don't know if I could. That's all I wanted. Like you had it young, like your family.
Yeah. I did it broke.
Yeah, well, good.
It's different doing it broke. I
Or
don't know. I think there's a lot of. I think it. When people get like, I think when people get diagnosed with a disease and then you go, God, I can't imagine that. And then if it happens to you, you go, yeah, no, you figure it out.
Yeah.
I think that's the same thing about having a kid broke. You're just like, I look back at the things fondly that I go. I remember like going to Wood Girl Ranch. It was like our really nice dinner. If we took the girls out, and I remember I look back and go, God, I fucking miss those days.
Yeah. My parents used to take us to Love's Barbecue. Do you remember that?
I do remember Love's.
Yeah. Where did you go? Where you guys from? Florida? You guys?
Yeah, that's the other part of this. I grew up in Florida.
What part of Florida?
Tampa. My first concert was a Beach Boys concert.
Oh, let's talk about that. Was I there? Where was it?
Oh, wait. I
Because-
wouldn't be shocked. It was with Whitney Houston
Oh,
at Tampa Stadium.
Oh, I don't know. What year? In the 90s or something?
It had to be.
We should call Mike Love. You called your dad. Should we want to call? Well, let me see where they're at.
The Beach Boys is a band, and I will say this, and that if you're listening to this, you're sleeping on. Meaning, you don't realize the brilliance of their music. When people think of the Beach Boys, they think little old lady from Pasadena.
Well, that was Jen and Dean. But
Right. Or no, was it really?
Yeah.
Oh,
you think of like
you're thinking of
Surfing
Little
USA.
Deuce Coupe.
Yeah.
You don't know what I mean.
Right.
That's what they think is when they think of Beach Boys. What they don't think is Good Vibrations is one of the most beautiful songs.
God Only Knows.
God Only Knows.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Holy fuck. So like I went through a huge Beach Boys phase.
Really?
Where I was just like sometimes it takes listening to a song on a plane to get you in it. And I was pretty hammered on a plane.
Really?
I was listening to Wilco.
I've never done.
And I don't know, it's just
On a
it's like
plane?
on a plane. And because you can't move and you're forced to be in the moment, in the music. And
What came up? Pet Sounds.
it had to be. I'll tell you. No, the Sloot
John B. Yeah, that was Pet Sounds.
What a fucking song!
Right.
what a fucking song. And you're just sitting there going, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
And then I think you were responsible for the movie about the Beach Boys
Well, yeah.
on ABC, right?
Mhm, yeah.
And I had seen that. And then you start realizing the depth of the characters. And you realize that I would say almost like the Jackson 5, they had a father who was a little overbearing.
Right. A little. He was abusive.
He was
It's
horrific,
terrible. Yeah.
apparently.
Very jealous. He
Yeah.
wanted to be a singer and stuff. Murray.
But I am, and then right after that, I heard Jeff Tweedy talking about doing a show with Brian Wilson, and Brian Wilson was like saying very casually, like innocently, "Hey, how many people do you think are in here?" And Jeff Tweedy was like, "Wait." But they're very same souls, like very artistic souls.
Right.
Brian Wilson, just a fucking beautiful
Genius.
soul.
Yeah, they it's the highlight of my, next to my kid and my wife. And it's still going. I started it was right after Terry Copley and Tony Danza, and my friend was playing guitar with them, and he said, "Why don't you come to the show in San Diego? I'll introduce you to the guys if I can." And oh, great, cheer you up. And it was at a baseball baseball, Jack Murphy Stadium or something.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, as soon as you hear fun, come backstage because they're going to go off for an encore. They're there for like 5 minutes, and they'll go back on and play Barbara, and then they'll leave. You won't see them again. So okay. So I got on fun. I'm watching. I got on the field. I asked somebody, where's it? Then I hear these girls screaming. I said, oh shit, what's going on over there? Oh fuck, it's me. And they were like all these 30, 40 cheerleaders start chasing me on the field. And I'm running, and I like an asshole. I start running the bases like an idiot, and the jumbotron there. I'm like, I got Jordache jeans on, and my hair was all feathered like a dead crow. And I'm running, and I just make it backstage. The door slams. The girls are screaming, banging on the doors, and I'm like, out of breath. And all 5 of them just turned. The whole room's silent, and they turn and look at me and like, what the fuck? And I'm like, They gave me a look like I was the weirdest, and they hung out with Manson. Like I was, that's how bad. And I was like, my heroes, I finally met him. But Mike Lev says, who's that? And my friend Jeff says, it's John Stamos. He's a drummer, great drummer. Oh, yeah? And he's on General Hospital. He says, do girls scream for him like that all the time? And he said, yeah. He goes, get him on stage. And I got up and played Barbara Ann, and it was like, I don't know. I'm sure you've had those moments if you would have told me moments. But like, but more, I felt like it was boom, man. I was like, fucking this, I don't ever want this to end. It was like the best sex.
Well, it's the name of your book. If you would have told me, I felt that entirely. I felt that a number of times in my life.
I came up with that because one day Mike Love was calling me, and I wasn't answering the phone. I was like, if you would have told me when I was a kid, the first concert I ever saw with the Beach Boys. And then it just went on from there. The first time I really played with them full show was on the 4th of July in 1985. I sort of talked about it in there where it was a trip. I get to D.C. They would do 2 shows on the 4th. One in Philadelphia. It was 1 million people. And one in D.C. that night, 750,000 people. And I get there, and my friend Jeff says, come on, we got to go teach Jimmy what songs we're doing. I said, Jimmy who? Jimmy Page. We had the biggest suite I've ever seen in my life at the Watergate. And we had to go teach Jimmy Page what songs he was doing and what keys they were in. And I get there. He has got this biggest bottle of Jack Daniels, and he offers it. Want something? I was like, oh, no, thank you, Mr. P. Can I have a light beer, please? And he slinks away. And then my friend slinks away. And I'm in this hotel room by myself looking around. Like, what the fuck? How did I get here? If you would have told me. And there were two anvil cases on the other side of the room, and they were kind of together, but there was an opening like this, and I'll never forget it, like a tie-dyed sheet over it. And I sit next to it. I was in this big couch, engulfs me, and all of a sudden, like a goth cuckoo clock, this girl pops out in between the cases, sees me, goes, fuck! And I go, fuck! And she goes back in the thing. I swear to God, and I'm like, what? And then Jimmy Page comes in with a light beer, and I'm like, did you? Nah, man. So he sits next to me and he says, what songs am I said, you probably played Barbara Ann. That's okay. What key is it in? F sharp. I got fucking solo in F sharp, yelling at me. Like, what else? I think, help me, Rhonda. What key? I'm like, C sharp. I got fucking solo. And that was the beginning of it all. And it's been an incredible ride.
Well, everything has been like insane. It's almost like your first day on General Hospital was the Rick Springfield. Did you ever get to hang out with Rick Springfield?
Well, he didn't like, no.
Yeah, he didn't like you.
Well, he, as I look back, all this stuff you kind of look back on and go, well, I get it. He wanted out of there, and he was a big star at the time.
He didn't have. It seemed like I did a little Googling. It seemed like, hey, by the way, shout out to Rick Springfield. I've sat next to his people at bars.
Yeah.
I had a period where we were on the exact same tour wherever I was going. Rick Springfield was going, so he was on like 5 of my flights. Like we were always on the same flights.
Was he a coach?
But I did no. We both sat first class.
I love him. What am I?
But his fame coincided with General Hospital.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it I think it made him, right? And
I don't know.
idolized the
I don't
guy.
remember. All I know is that one of my favorite scenes in any movie ever is Alfred Molina in Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
When he's playing, and he's the Asian guy's throwing fireworks, and he's doing smoking crack, and he goes, Ricky Springfield. He's a friend of mine. I love that moment. That's my favorite scene in any moment.
And how about God only knows the usage of that in that movie, where the guy was in prison for the pedophilia stuff, and they just slowly. It was one long take. God only knows what. That song is a perfect song.
What
There's
song
very
do you
few-
want? If you had to have a Beach Boys song played at your funeral? What would it be?
Well, that's a terrible question.
I have.
I don't give a fuck. I'll be dead. I mean,
I think about my funeral all the time.
You do? How are you gonna die?
Fucking time.
How are you gonna die?
Late. I'm gonna be one of the last ones.
You're gonna
alive.
go, yeah, like 90s, 100s, maybe.
I'll be 89, but everyone else will be dead.
Yeah. It'd be lonely. What's the guy? There's a comic, really funny guy, who used to do a bit on me where he said he was going to hire me to come to his funeral.
Nick Swartzen.
Nick Swartzen, yeah, sweet guy.
Wow,
right?
that's fucking crazy.
What?
Wow,
You thought
that's
of that?
crazy that I can't remember people's names that I went to college with. But I remember a Nick Swartzen bit. I'm going to hire John Stamos to come to my funeral. That way, and not say a word. All he's got to do is come down and sit down. So that way, the whole funeral, I was like, did you know Nick knew John Stamos? What's funny is you probably know him now. I'm sure you know him because he's friends with Jeff and Bob.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you probably worked on something he's done.
No,
No?
I don't think so.
Nick
But I
Swartzen's
bet
so fucking
so
funny.
funny.
So fucking funny.
How do you remember bits like that? Like you have a great memory. I mean,
No.
how do you guys remember your act? And you can get up on stage for 2 hours and remember everything. That would be my issue.
It's identical to when someone says like it's just little things that remind me of the next thing.
Like, are you one of those guys that works super hard on something and then you get up and it looks like you're just making it up on the spot?
Yeah, I think a lot of people would be like,
Yeah.
he's drunk. He just kind of takes his shirt off and wings it.
Dean Martin,
But I'm-
except for the shirt part.
But I think I think Dean Martin's a kind of a little bit of a hero of mine
Bet.
because there was a casualness. You could almost write off Dean Martin as he's just some drunk,
Right.
but you forget the brilliance of it. And
Genius.
I kind of like under promising and over delivering in
Right.
life. I think it's a fun way to do it. And well, it's like, listen, if you're if you're Chappelle and your special comes out, I mean, I can't imagine the weight of the world has to be on his shoulders to deliver something better than he did last time.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone expects that from me. So when I do deliver a pretty good special, people are like, that was fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe that's the guy that was his shirt off. That's like a great story.
But you've evolved with your comedy through.
I think
through
my
those years.
my comedy's gotten a lot better, but yeah, I am someone I do not take specials lightly. I definitely put more work than I would say. Not the average Netflix comic, but the average comic seems to be putting out specials pretty quickly. Like, I mean, people are putting out specials every 11 months right now, and
It's too much.
well, I won't commit. When I commit to a special with Netflix, I already have the hour, and I'll still give myself 18 months to work on the hour.
That's you're that's
Well,
the greats.
I
You're the
know,
great-
but I'm very.
That's what makes the greats, though. And I talk about that in the book too. Like just putting it, giving it you all.
You have to give it everything.
I didn't for many years. I got by on 60%. And I was like, I'm doing well, and I'm better than most guys out here. I was afraid to give it my all.
Really?
In everything, yeah. And now I because if you fail after giving it your all, then you're like, shit, man, I don't want to face that.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, fuck it, bring it on. If I fail, I fail. Who cares? At least I gave it everything. That's how I went into my marriage. I was just, I'm going to give it everything I got. If it doesn't work, it's okay. At least I'll know how to do that, which I hadn't done before.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you? When you say giving yourself your all in your marriage, you meant like committing everything and like being 100% honest and being
Yes.
like
Yeah.
Interesting.
Have you done that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only know one speed.
Yeah.
I'm not
But
that
you work.
smart.
Yes, you are. You work very hard, but I don't think Dean Martin. Like I remember talking to his daughter and said, "Man, your dad's so fucking cool, man. He doesn't give a shit about anything." And she says, "Yeah, that's great if it's not your dad. If it's
Oh yeah.
if he's your dad, it's not great for him not to really give a shit about."
Well, the partying thing, I know my daughters have felt the rebound of it, of like people expect them to fucking party, and it is not my daughters. They're very private, but
at least they had that instilled in them, maybe from your wife or both of you guys, to be able to go, fuck you, I'm not that person.
Oh, they have confidence. They have Segura confidence. Like Segura, I'll still to this day, this blows my mind. I remember like one time we were doing Rogan and we're like at like hour 2 and we're all fucking high and we're all drunk and we're laughing hysterically. And Tom just goes, all right, I'm done. Take care, guys. And I go, where are you going? Like in the middle of this. Yeah. By the way, not just mentioning for our careers, it's a big deal. Rogan at the time is before Spotify, when everything's and no controversy. Like this is like peak. Holy shit, you're catching lightning in a bottle. Yeah. And Tom just does not give a fuck.
That was Dean Martin. Yeah, that's what he did with Jerry Lewis. After 10 years, like, I'm out. Goodbye.
It's crazy what Tom
I
does
could never do
care
that
about.
either. Yeah, what does he care about?
It's really funny.
Cares about his kids, I would imagine. How old are they?
No, he doesn't care about them.
I want to. Well, okay, finish that. And I want to ask you a question about.
He cares about
money.
He cares. Oh yeah, he cares about money.
There you go. What does he buy? He's got a big house and everything.
He buys everything.
Like watches and stuff.
Oh, hardcore.
That's what.
He's
you're a watch guy too.
I am because of Tom.
Right.
But Tom got me into watches.
Do you both have small penises, or I mean, what is it?
We have identical looking penises.
You compared them?
No, we've seen them. We had them tethered together one time.
Tethered
with an electric probe.
Okay.
We had this lady, this dominatrix, put
like a Chinese finger.
Yeah, like finger cuffs, but except it was two.
Very
it looked like wristbands, but very, very tiny. Wristbands for a monkey.
Okay.
And then they went around our dicks, and then there was a tether attached to both of them. And then she electrocuted our cocks at the same time.
No.
Yeah.
Why?
It was
Great Balls of Fire.
2 Bears, 1 Cave.
Yeah.
It was for a live show.
Wow.
What does Tom care about? It's interesting.
Not his balls. We know that.
He does not want to be. He does not. I'm trying to find.
Does he care about respect? Being respected? No, he doesn't really care.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care about the internet. Really doesn't care about the internet.
As
a matter of fact, I think he gets a jolt when the internet comes back at him. I think he enjoys that.
Do you think he's talking about us right now? Probably not like this.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, and he didn't give a fuck. Did you feel like you had to be that drunk guy, like the people, like what they expected from your daughters? Do you go into a bar and it's like, hey, man?
There's a part of me I'm trying to figure that out right now. Here's my thing is that whatever is wrong with me is integral. It is part of my DNA. And it is, I don't want people to go to sleep. I don't want people to call it quits. I want I have hardcore FOMO. Like if I wake up and everyone's already awake, I start going like, wait, like I really feel a panic. I want to be involved with everything. When I find out there's text threads I'm not on, I go, oh, I want to be on it.
Right.
Like I want to be a part of the action. And that is sincerely me. And so like I have a hard time not going to bed. I don't have a hard time going to bed. I have a hard time letting the night end.
Yeah.
Like I have a hard time. I have a hard time calling it quits on anything. And so and I want to be involved. Like if Tom says, oh, I went to dinner with Ryan Sickler the other night and they're in LA, I go, why didn't you call me? Right. But I know that maybe it was better that he didn't. It's probably good that the two of them caught up. But like I always want to be involved.
Right. But out of goodness, right? It doesn't seem like you're
like we're doing my cruise next week.
I can't go. I don't like boats. What is it?
It's so fucking fun. I can't wait. But
what are you doing? Like
we got a
4-day?
For like the way Kiss does a cruise.
Yeah, I did one with the Beach Boys a couple months ago, and it was pretty fun.
Oh, for real?
But you can't. You're trapped there, right?
Oh, I love it.
You do? Oh, yeah. Well, you love being famous.
I love it.
I get it. And so, yeah, right. So you're fine to take pictures fast.
Oh,
and easy.
I love it. I love it.
I
love it. And
that's good.
And so
but you need it, don't you? Now that's what you have to examine.
I don't know if that's what I'm trying to figure out right now.
That's what
I'm trying to figure that out with my drinking.
Okay.
Because I haven't had a drink in like 73 days.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But I mean, but also it's not very hard for me to stop drinking. But the hardest part is to start drinking again and figure out what that looks like. Because now I go on this cruise and here's the thing, I want to have a celebratory, get on a cruise ship, have a cocktail. I want to have that with my wife. But I don't know what that looks like because I've been this guy definitely for the last, I would say 10 years, easily, maybe 5 years, but someone who I don't want to turn it off. And I've been able in life lately to be able to go, I'm going to bed now. Go to bed a little early these last 73 days. I'm really blown away by how much people like going to bed. Like I'm stunned at how many people just want to go. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm going to
my
bed.
wife's like, I used to be that way, and I'm more like you now. I mean, I don't have to, but I just like being up because it's creative. I will sit or paint, draw, write. So I don't want that to end, the creative stuff. But you like, so have you beefed up the other stuff like pot and stuff around it?
I've been smoking a fair amount of marijuana.
Does your family like you better when you're not drinking?
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing.
Yeah, but they don't. That's not fair. They're doing it. Well, they're saying it because I'm a lot healthier. I'm not as fat and red and bloated.
Really?
So yeah.
I'm sorry.
No,
that was terrible of me.
Hey, Austin, just pull up fat drunk. Don't even do it. It's not worth it.
But you're very smart. You're very together.
Right now I am.
And,
if I was, there were times like I didn't understand when people go like, "I'm worried about you." I thought they were just being dicks. Like Tom would always say like, "Hey man, you need to take some time off. You need to take a break." Yeah, he was. Probably. But like one guy said it to me, and he looks like shit, and I was like, "Oh my god, if this guy's worried about me, does he not have mirrors?"
They're worried about themselves. Then they're taking it out on you.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
but I feel amazing. The other day I was sitting there in my backyard and I was doing this, and I just went, "Hey, I'm just like smiling for no reason at all."
Yeah.
Like really, like it was, and I caught myself smiling, and I was like, and like last night, and I did get high, but last night I took one hit of a vape pen, went into my backyard to have a cigar, and I had a moment of true gratitude where I was like, my wife fell asleep on the couch out back, the dogs were there, and I was just saying thank you for all the little things in life. Yeah. Like I was like, thanks for this yard. Like this is a great yard. Like not everyone gets yards.
To do that. Well, to have those moments, I mean, you'll find later. That's what it's.
How
about.
long did it take you to quit drinking until you were cool with not drinking?
Well, I had I had so much to lose, and I was tired of it. The sick and tired of being sick and tired. Like it was just enough.
You were 52?
I was 50. Yeah. And it was like it wasn't doing anything for me. Kicks keep getting harder to find, right? And and I didn't have a wife and kids like you did to be responsible for. I had no tent poles to say that you're an adult. I went in kicking. I heard you talk about this too. Being adult to me was like fucking boring and square and
Yeah.
But it's the
Peter Pan disease.
So what's that?
Peter Pan syndrome.
Right. Yeah. And I didn't have to grow up. Everybody was taking care of shit. I still look kind of young.
You still look amazing.
But thanks, Bert. So
you look fucking amazing. Do you have a skin routine?
Where's your hand?
No, I'm not vanity.
We should talk about that. But that's the.
By the way,
anyway.
I just realized I've read your book, and so what I'm doing is I'm covering parts of your book and not letting you tell the stories. He got a hand job from fucking Vanity.
Well, when I was writing the book. Like your act, I was trying to, and you know what's interesting? When I was watching you recently, I was like, this is a guy who I don't have anything in common with, but God damn it, I connected so many things that you were talking about. That's your success too. You appeal to a lot of people. And I was asking Greg earlier, I said, these guys, he's like the smart, super successful version of those country guys. What are the names? Not anything against them, but get her young, get her done, and all that stuff.
Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah, what was the three of the country guys or something?
Jeff,
Blue Collar.
Jeff Foxworthy, Bill Engvall, Ron White, and Larry the Cable Guy.
You sort of took that and made it your own, and right?
I take that as a huge compliment. Those guys are all massively successful.
Yeah. So I was anyway. So I could relate to stuff that.
So you gotta.
So I was trying to find relatable moments in the book because I can't be all like, then I play with the Beach Boys. And so, yes, the vanity thing was
your life is only relatable in that I think when I read it, when I listen to your book, I kept thinking this is a regular person put in these crazy moments.
Yeah.
Like you have great genetics, but having said that, you talked about getting a nose job young, and which I did not know at all.
Well, why would you?
But I just always thought you were perfect your whole life. Yeah. And then you talk about that getting bullied. You talk about your relationship with your parents. You like everything you do in your book is yes, it was crazy events, but they happened for whatever reason. They happened to a very relatable dude.
I guess, but those moments are. Being bullied, for instance, that wasn't even a word in school. No. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. I mean, the guy gave me a black eye because I heard that his girlfriend wanted to go out with me. And I swear, I wanted to dedicate the whole book to him. And they said, no, you can't. I said, I wouldn't be where I'm at because every plateau that I hit, I was like, I'm going to show that. So I'm going to get on TV. I'm going to be the Beach Boys, and he's going to come, and my bodyguard's going to beat him up, And I eventually got over all that, and it's time, and I do wish I could see him again because I would thank him. I would say, yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, I changed his name, but I would say, thank you. I mean, you really gave me this burst to succeed and show you that I was this and that, and I really thank you, and I'm going to be just good with that.
You need those people in life.
But then I would tell him, I dated that girl for about 3 years after, and she told me you were hung like a finch. So fuck off, asshole. I hope he's listening, that son of a bitch, cocksucker. I'm over it. But,
It's so crazy that you're an Orange County kid.
Yeah.
Like, because I just assumed you were, like, growing up, I was like, his parent, like, you're just so, you're like, who are the most famous Greek people we have? Nia Vardalos, you.
Me, Zach
Galifianakis.
Funny guy.
Have you ever met Zach?
Yeah.
He's great.
He's like Tom, too. He doesn't give a fuck about anything.
He really is like Tom, but really talented.
Very talented. Well,
Not that Tom's not really
They
talented.
kind of look like each other, too.
They do kind of look like each other. Jennifer
Yeah,
Aniston.
but not, yeah. I went to it was Greek Day at the White House when Obama was there, and Stamos, you're the most handsome Greek. I do impressions, but not that one. And I said, well, there's other Greeks. I thought there's other Greeks. I lost my thought.
Who are the Greeks?
Well, just those. That's it. We have a little Greek mafia that we.
Do you guys have a text thread?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, Giannis is.
Giannis, I play him that Panos character all the time. I was just in Greece with Nia and Rita and Tom Hanks. And,
that's right. Rita Wilson's Greek.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, is that how the Nia Vardalos thing happened?
Yeah. Rita saw the play. It was a one-woman play. I did the reading of that, and they didn't. And the guy that directed it, I said, why didn't they? Oh, they thought you were too old. Oh, okay. Then I became friends with Nia years later. I said, why didn't you do our movies? You thought I was too old. No, we didn't. Anyway.
Nia was like the first celebrity I ever met.
Oh, really?
We not met, but like that I was friends with because our kids are the same age.
Was she nice?
And so, she was the sweetest person. Her and she was married at the time. Ian.
Yeah.
He was the greatest guy. He was a really easy hang.
Yeah,
he was like
fun
the easiest fucking hang.
Yeah.
Like and you so easy you forgot he was famous also.
Yeah. He was on a TV show that I did, but we were all at the dinner one night. It was Ian, Nia, Tom Hanks, me, thing. There was a couple other people, maybe from and Steven Spielberg walks over, and he goes, "Hi, everybody, hi, everybody." Ian Gomez, oh my God, you are a brilliant. Out of all the people, he went to Ian.
Shut up.
Yeah, he saw him on Felicity or something.
That's crazy.
When did you move out here? How long ago?
When I was 27. No, when I was 26. When I first moved out here, I was 26. I moved out to do a sitcom with Will Smith.
Oh,
moved into the Universal Sheraton. It didn't get picked up, but it was
he was in it or producing it?
Producing it. And so, and then I fell in love with LA. My very first day out here, I was in Century City, of all places. Yeah. And I called my dad and I said, I think I'm going to live here for the rest of my life.
What did he say?
He was like, it's nice. And it was my dad had come out here for work. I won't say what he did, but he came out here for work.
And, it was a celebrity building he worked in. Right?
Yeah, he came out here for work.
How did he get out of it? I don't get it. And he didn't have anything to do with the kid from what's his name? Ashton Kutcher's friend.
Danny Masters.
Yeah. He didn't, because if he did, your dad's a lousy lawyer. I mean, he didn't really help there. I'm not making. Maybe you should cut this. I'm not making light of what he did. I don't know him. I'm not writing anyone letters.
Don't worry.
But,
I don't think anyone of our fucking fans are gonna light you up. They're gonna be like, "Thank God he brought it up." No, I don't. Are
you fans of Bert and all this? I hope you're finding me respectful to these guys, because I really, I idolize you guys. And what you do is I love it. I just love stand-up comedy.
Do you ever think had you? I was thinking of this today. Had you and
did you know
Bob?
I guess you knew who I was.
Are you kidding?
That's a weird thing. I mean, I know.
I've known who you were I would say probably most of my conscious life.
Did you have posters of me on?
No, I definitely did.
But you said you had Rob Lowe.
No, I know. I had the Outsiders. Mm-hmm. I had the Outsiders up. I had a weird thing. I probably did have a picture of you because I did get Tiger Beat as a kid.
You
because
did?
It was one of the things I didn't realize. Like I just was like. I had pictures of Duran Duran up.
Yeah,
I had pictures of surfers up. Like I didn't have. It's so funny when because that's what I aspired to. I still
makes sense.
And so I didn't really have pictures of chicks up on my wall. So I thought that was creepy.
Oh really?
I was like, I had pictures of hot dudes up on my wall.
That's not creepy.
I wanted to be that.
I got it. Yeah,
And
yeah,
so like I had Simon LeBlanc. Was that the guy from Duran Duran?
no, not even close.
LeBlanc.
Yeah.
That guy.
I wanted to be Travolta, man. And the first,
He was so fucking cool.
does your dad know him?
No, I don't know.
He might. They're in Florida.
Fucking
The
kill me.
the all of a sudden, and your dad all of a sudden came in a lot of money. Wow.
No, I can't.
I mean, the sister went, "Hey, Dad's finally making. He's got a nest egg. Interesting."
He
kept talking about L. Ron
he
Hubbard.
started doing something different in the sphere of law.
What?
I don't know.
You do know.
I do, but I didn't realize how private he is. I've told stories about him. Like I've told stories about him so much,
Right.
and he's just not. He's like, I think the more famous I got, the more they've come back to him. Where he's like, whoa, I wasn't addicted to speed. So there were diet pills. God damn it! And I quit them. I quit them cold turkey. I didn't even need any help. God damn it! And you took them too. God damn it! Remember that one Easter?
That one Easter, did you say?
One Easter, I had a hard time. I was
Easter.
tired.
Now that's what that makes that joke so funny. I'm deconstructing this thing. One Easter. That's what makes it funny. Not one day, not one time, one Easter.
I was
Like Rickles was specific.
Rickles was
Two
fucking-
bullets in the head Tuesday, he would say. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, when he goes, one of the Rickles lines that immediately, when you go, he went up to fucking Artie Lang and went to his stomach and he goes,
Right.
"Hey, ice cream, how you doing in there?"
Yeah. When I brought him into because Howard would say that that was his number one influence. That's
Yeah.
why he got into comedy. He would watch him on the shows with his mom.
Would you text with Howard?
Yeah.
Like you know him.
Yeah, he left me a beautiful. He read the book, or he heard it like you did, but I think on regular speed. And he left me the nicest, the longest message. When he calls, I always think, "Oh shit, Ralph's dead." Like but he's not. He's a good. He's been very good to me. But so to bring in, I fooled him, and I said, "I'm bringing in a girlfriend. I wanted your opinion on it, or whatever." And Rickles came in, but he was so. It's a great conversation. You should watch it on YouTube.
The thing I loved the most about Don Rickles, honestly, the thing I love the most, and the thing I think I probably have the closest to him, is his relationship with Newhart.
Yeah,
Like the fact that they went to lunch every week. They went to lunch like every fucking week.
Yeah, that's you and Tom. Is that what
Yeah,
you're saying?
like I like that I'm friends with someone for real.
yeah,
Like
right,
that we
right.
talk about like shit that, like we talk about stuff. We talk about our sisters, or we talk about our dads privately. Like there's a bunch of private stuff. Like
What do you?
Like there was a really hilarious fucking incident, and then being with one of the funniest guys in the world, and getting him to improv, and then just joking back and forth
On
about
that, yeah.
something like that. That's
Yeah.
like super valuable.
Bob and I had that, and Dave too, and it
Yeah.
was. But getting back to like what it would have been if Rickles and Newhart had a show like this, the two of them, or like what you guys do.
Can you
They would go on
imagine?
vacations.
We're
together,
definitely not.
and-
I don't mean to compare us to those geniuses,
Well,
but like
you guys
that.
are-
But like that is crazy. I was gonna say,
Mm-hmm.
what if you and Bob and Dave had a podcast? How fucking
Yeah, maybe we I don't know, but we would have those conversations, but they would or text chains that you could never show anyone ever, because they were this is wrong. A lot of it was wrong.
Bob.
Yeah, Bob was he could be.
I love that in your book that even the Bob I know today, the Bob I knew,
Yeah.
is the same guy that was the Bob in the rehearsal rooms at Full House.
Yeah.
Like his inappropriate
Oh
jokes.
God, it was terrible. He was addicted to laughs, and he had to get it like a heroin or something.
He's like Mark Norman.
Yeah, is
like
that-
they're
yeah.
very similar dudes. Like they always go. The joke's always there. The joke's the most important thing to them. Is getting someone to laugh. That is their focus. Is the
Yeah,
joke.
but it's their hair. It's their and he had comedy Tourette's. He couldn't stop.
That's Mark Norman.
Yeah.
That is fucking Mark Norman.
Which one is he, Mark Norman?
Mark Norman's got a new
Jokes.
special called Soup to Nuts on
Oh,
Netflix.
yeah, I
It's
saw it.
phenomenal. Yeah, he's amazing. Friends with Giannis.
Yeah.
That whole group of guys, that Giannis's whole generation is all fucking bangers.
It's Giannis's turn.
Giannis
I gotta
is-
give him that. But the interesting thing about you're talking about your sister. You talked to about your sisters with Tom or
Yeah.
something. Most of the couple for the first few years, Bob and I didn't get along. I couldn't deal with his. It was just disruptive as fuck. And I'd come from doing a show with Jack Klugman for a couple of years, and Gary Marshall, and all these great. That's where I met Gary. Would come in. They were writers on the show. And so every scene was like approached like story and character, and why would I say this? Why would I move there? And then I go to Full House. I try to have that, and Bob's stabbing his cock with a fork, and it's like I hate my cock. And he's just stabbing it, or he would do a da 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 da, and it was disruptive,
Yeah.
at the very least. But after a year or two, we tried it. We were different guys. He had 3 kids, and I was a bachelor. So, but his sister got scleroderma. And
that's right. He had a foundation for
he
it.
still, he did. And sadly enough, his sister died and didn't get to see all the work that he did for scleroderma. Dave's sister had cancer; she died, and my sister had a brain tumor. And thank God she made it through. But so all of a sudden, we weren't just three guys on a show. We connected on something much deeper, and we could put our differences aside and just work.
What did
together.
you guys talk about when you went to dinner? Like if
Poop.
you would really
Yeah, they were very foul, poop, and inappropriate stuff.
Did Dave Coulier ever
Shit his pants?
No, did he ever? Were you guys ever on set and you guys heard Alanis Morissette and he's like, that song's about me?
Well, yeah, but that was so funny. Like that angry, angst, like chick who was like, I saw you in the movie. The guy who does Bullwinkle, hey, I'm Popeye and Bullwinkle, was the guy in the movie theater going down on the thing.
Fucking so.
He called me when because I met her. I talked about it at a concert in Canada, and we were the Beach Boys, and he brought her, and she wasn't famous. And I brought him on stage for Bob Moran. I thought, I'll give him some points. I'll bring the girl.
Yeah.
And afterwards, she had these big hoop earrings and stuff. And she said, do you know anybody in L.A. in the music business? I'm like, no, yeah, well, maybe. I don't know. Anyway. And it was her. So he broke up with her, broke her heart. And she's driving down, and the song comes on the radio. And he's, oh, fuck, that's Alanis. And he goes and buys the album, Jagged Little Pill, puts it in the CD, and calls me. He goes, John, I think I really hurt this girl. Listen to these lyrics. I go, those aren't about you. He goes, yeah, they are.
She sucked my dick in a movie theater.
Yeah, someone else. So, yeah.
It's the first time we saw Air Bud.
We didn't. That's interesting. What did we talk about? Well, Greg, you were around. It was a lot of jokes, a lot of, and I would get them to fight because they had those video shows, and I'd say to Bob, I said, Dave or to Bob, I said, Bob, Dave's show's getting pretty good ratings. He's got a cute host and funny, and yours isn't quite doing. Yes, it is. And I get them fighting over whose show is. But Bob would say, "Fuck you, that show sucks," and I just slither away to the craft service and have a little turkey sandwich and watch the fireworks.
When was the last time you wanted to text Bob and you went, ugh?
Right now.
Right now, go. Yeah. This isn't going well.
I was gonna, get me out of this guy. A lot, My son has this great sense of humor, closer to Bob's than mine. He said the other day, he was like, he said, come on, let's go in the kitchen. I said, I have to take a pee first. He goes, if you hold your pee in longer, the pee nest goes away. I'm like, oh, that's a Bob joke. That was smart. The pee nest goes. I don't know.
That's
He's
great.
So I missed that, and I remember calling Bob early on, and I said, I'm not connecting with this kid like I thought I would. He said, wait till he laughs at you for the first time. And so it was that. I wish he was around for that.
It's a weird question. Did you get? Only because I only know this in passing, and I could be totally off. But I know Bob was a fan of things that like he had Rodney's joint box.
Oh yeah,
he had things that were kind of like commemorative of his heroes. Did you get anything of Bob's?
That's a great question. That's not a weird question. Yeah, I did. I have one of his guitars. Kelly, his wife, gave me. And I don't play it because it's my dog licked my balls, sucked my dick, you can't do anything, straight with a kid, around the kids. And that's what Rickles used to do. Hey, my dog licked my balls. He would do an impression. And Rickles would do an impression of, this is what he thought of Full House. He goes, hello, Daddy, may I have some apples? What the fuck does that have to do with anything? That was Full House. He didn't like that show. He said, I use that show as a nightlight, he said. I want to talk about him. I said, Bob, what was the question? Oh, so and his wife gave me I didn't know this. His favorite character was Jiminy Cricket, and so there's a statue that she gave me that was his too. It's very sad. He didn't know how loved he was, and when that guy died, it was like a tsunami of love. I haven't since Princess died. I'm not even being funny. Like you remember all the outpouring of love, and
that was one that I think got all of the comics caught us off guard.
Yeah,
because it was like I think he was at the Orlando Improv.
Yeah, yeah. He was in Orlando.
He had played Jacksonville the night
before.
And
he drove. And it was. I'm telling you, Bert. He kind of said some of it in his post. He said, "I feel like a kid again, man." And he did 2 hours. He said, "That's the longest I've done." He took a picture of him on stage, before, and he was driving home, and he was just ecstatic, and he called texted his wife, or called his wife and said, "Hey, I have this picture. Can you fix it up for me?" And he said, and she got it. She said, "It doesn't need fixing. You look so handsome, Bob." And they had a beautiful relationship. And then he went to the hotel, and I like to think of him coming to that hotel room after killing on stage. I mean, killing, and the feeling, and laying his head down on the pillow and dreaming of the next time he was going to see all of us, and the laughs were still happening, and and he had a smile on his face, I think.
He was such a great guy. I think he's one of those things where you don't realize how much people mean to you until they're gone.
Yeah. But he didn't know it, man. He didn't. He was, and the problem was he was never going to be. He couldn't take a compliment for real. Oh, Bobby, you were great.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have 8 Netflix specials. He wasn't Chappelle. He wasn't these guys and Chappelle showed up and did a lot of stuff. And I said, man, you really made Bob feel great the last few years.
They were both really close with John Mayer.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
But he said,
It's one of the. I mean, I love John Mayer. I think John Mayer is amazing.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that he was close with Bob Saget puts John Mayer in like a new echelon for me, where I go, oh, he's like, I know he's friends with Chappelle and stuff, but like the fact that him and Bob were close, I was like, oh, he's like a legit fucking dude.
Yeah, he is. He loved Bob for that. Bob liked me better, but and I like to tell John. But what we're saying, Chappelle. So, but he would never. He just never thought of himself as successful because he wasn't up there, and he probably was never going to get there. And that's the sad thing. He didn't know how loved he was. No fucking way.
Yeah.
And that's what kills me. Don.
It should have been Dave.
No.
That's horrible.
If we're real quiet, you can hear Bob going, "Yeah, you're right. Why the fuck am I up here?" Dave and him and Dave were best buddies, and then when I came around, Dave and I started to become best friends, and it was a weird thing. But
I never realized how much that show leaned on you and Dave. Like, it sounds silly, but I just remember, I didn't realize the show premise pretty much is you and Dave are raising children because Bob's working.
Well, don't tell Bob that. But
when was the last time you talked to the Olsen twins?
They came out for his funeral,
Yeah.
and it was beautiful because we hadn't seen him much over the years, and they went off to New York and did very well, but we were all kind of disconnected. Bob was the through line; he would always try to get us together. But they came out for that, and they said all the things that we wanted to hear. We love you guys. We loved our childhood. We're so grateful to you. You were great to us, and it was special for all of us to get that gift.
I haven't heard from them or of them.
Do you know? Did you talk to them?
No, I don't know him at all.
Okay.
I don't know him at all.
Well, Ashley had a kid, which is trip, man. Like the whole thing is, if you would have told me these 2 little girls, were gonna own New York one day and be,
It's crazy.
Yeah.
They made all their money in like doing straight to DVD movies.
No fashion. They went to New York and started a fashion line, and $1 billion fashion line.
What do they look like now?
They're beautiful.
Olsen twins.
They.
I only remember them when they were like 18, where you're like, where I was an adult and I was like, whatever. Like, it's like my sister. So
Right.
they were like everyone's little sister.
Yeah.
And now they're fucking
Rich.
Now they've got to be like 40.
They got more money than Tom, I think.
No.
Yeah, no, they're not 40. They're 30 or something. Yeah.
How old are the Olsen twins in 2023? Go to that. No, it's already on there. It's already on there. It's already on there. It's like the first thing. How old are the Olsen
I should know
twins?
this,
Right
right?
there. Right? No, right. You just missed it. How old? There we go.
37? Jesus.
Jesus.
I'm old. That makes me old.
I can't believe you're 60. You look great.
I do.
Do your sisters look as good as you?
Yeah, they do.
Really?
They're pretty. You have 2 sisters? I have 2
Yeah.
sisters, yeah.
I look the best. Out of
You,
all
out
of
of you?
us. Yeah.
Are they proud of you? They come to your shows and
I don't know if they're proud of me. I think my one
front row
sister
seats
Annie
like
doesn't.
mine?
It doesn't. I don't think it registers with her. I think she's just like, yeah. She's got a little bit of a stoner's sensibility. And my sister Cotty is in the industry, so I think
What does
as
she
proud
do?
as she. I don't know. She runs.
Now I know why she doesn't like you.
I don't know what she does. I know
Cotty.
what she does. I know.
Yeah.
But I think she works at Disney.
Oh, yeah?
I think so.
You
Either
should
that or
know
Fox.
this. No?
Was Fox still around?
Yeah. Well, Disney owned it. Fox.
Disney owns Fox.
Yeah.
She works at Disney. But like, I think she's so in the business that she understands how successful I'm not.
What?
She deals
much-
with like she deals with like real celebrities.
That's
and
you.
so then I'm pretty like
You took a
pretty regular.
You're a real guy, and you talk about real things.
Yeah.
The fact that you can get up there for 2 hours and talk about, just tell stories about your life and your family. That's the gift, right? No, it doesn't feel like a bunch of written jokes.
Would you ever think of turning your book into a one-man show?
Have Rob Lowe do it. Rob, we tease each other, and he had a one-man show,
So
and he
funny.
said jokes about me in there.
If there's one person, I'm going to edit his name out. If
What?
there's one person who's really jealous of your career, who do you think that person is?
Tom Segura.
No.
Well, let me guess. Should I guess?
I have the name.
You do?
My whole life, I've always thought it's like a. Do you know who I'm thinking of? There was a guy who had a great career, but he wasn't you.
Me?
No, you got to edit his name out because I feel bad. I never would want someone to.
Was he on a TV show?
Yeah.
Glenn Scarpelli.
No.
No. Scott Baio.
No.
Oh.
No, I met Scott Baio.
I'm not saying anything.
I think we're members of the same country.
We were friends because. You two are?
I think so.
He likes to play golf. We were friends forever, and I said something about they were doing a reading during COVID for some Democratic thing of Happy Days. You know, they were doing a full reading, and everybody was involved. And I knew he wouldn't because it was for the Democrats, and he's Republican. And so I said, "Hey, can I play Chachi?" And he got so offended by that. He started ripping me apart, calling me a Marxist, and all this other bullshit.
A Marxist.
Yeah, I was like, I had to look that up, Marxist. Anyway, he's fine. You know, what you're trying to tell me, the guy's
No.
Oh yeah.
Edit his name out because I don't want to shit on the guy. But like, he was a good looking dude, and then just I don't know, it just went south.
It could be me, but for the grace of God.
But why?
I mean,
but why? Like,
I don't know.
Did your dad have a full head of hair?
Yeah, a little bit.
Was your dad a good looking guy?
Yeah, he was handsome.
He was
was cool, man. He was cool. I
Tell
wanted
the
to do
story.
some
Tell the story.
Sinatras.
Yeah, tell the story. I don't want to. I because I know the story, but just tell the story to people listening. Your dad was a big fan of Sinatra's and a big fan of Sammy Davis Jr. And he is the reason you became friends with Sammy Davis Jr. was because he's. I'm telling your story.
Well, Sammy he was on
General Hospital.
Yeah, so my dad didn't have anything to do with that, but I didn't know.
No, but he said when you meet him,
right,
talk about the drums.
He said talk about playing drums. Yeah, because I didn't know. I wanted to play drums on TV, and they weren't taking requests on this show. I was and so I was, can I play drums? No. And then Sammy came on, and my dad explained who he was and made me listen to the records of Frank and Sammy D. And he said talk about drums, and so I said, Mr. Davis, they won't let me play drums on the show, So, we had a real conversation about music, and I think he saw that I got music or I understood, part of his world. And he says, hold on, babe, and he click, goes to the producer's booth and comes back out and he says, just do what I say, man. There was a scene where I was playing the host I was hosting the waterfront thing or something where it was a charity, the MC, and I introduced him. And then there was a full band set up because he was going to do a song. And he gets up and does a few lines and he says, Blackie, you play drums, right? I'm like, yeah, totally.
For everyone listening, your character in General Hospital, his name's Blackie.
Yeah. Good. Thank you for clarifying. You're right. People did that, it wasn't, it was weird. And, so he
Someone's
said,
in headsets. Blackie's playing drums now. Wait, who? Which one's Blackie? It's gonna be John. It's John Stamos.
Did he just call Sammy? So he calls me up there, and I'm just ad libbing. You want to play? Yeah, and he's playing piano, and I felt like he was really connected with me. And says, "This kid's part of our." It was like the sage passing it on to the young.
Yeah.
And he gave me this great hug, and it was I played.
And like everyone surrounded the televisions. It was a big fucking deal.
Yeah. Thanks to Sammy. And then I saw him a few years later. Yeah.
But then you had the opportunity to introduce your parents to Sinatra, and your dad was a huge Sinatra, and your mom, Sinatra once tried to kiss your mom.
Yeah, on their honeymoon.
Yeah.
And they were going to see Rickles, and I guess at the Sands. And
do you ever? Keep going. I'm fucking so bad at interviewing people. Keep going. Go ahead.
What do you mean? You've been great.
Well, I already know the answer to
You've
the
been
story.
interviewing yourself for 2 hours. It's good. Kidding. I've asked a lot of questions because I'm interested in you too. Can we be friends after this?
Yeah.
No. I mean, you just said you don't follow through.
We can be real friends. We can be real friends.
Okay. I want to come see you on the one of your big shows.
Okay. Done.
All right, what are we talking about? We'll cut that out, right?
No. Keep it all in. Wait. No. Frank Sinatra.
So my dad, so I had I was dating Paul Abdul at the time, which was interesting, and my dad, so we went to the Pacific Amphitheater in Orange County to see Rickles and Sinatra. I didn't know Don at the time really, but we were trying to go backstage and meet Frank, and we called and publicists and they said, "Well, Frank wants to meet you. You'll know." I'm like, I fucking know a smoke signal or something. Rickles goes on intermission, and this little guy, Tonio, come on, Mr. Sinatra, see you now, little gangster. And we walk back, and Jilly Rizzo's there. His guy's like this, big square glasses. And Frank comes out and he's cool as shit, man. And we take some pictures, and I have like every picture he's bossing the camera on his hands.
Yeah.
And it was time for a group picture, and I'm like, come on, Dad. And he's like, no. And he's just leaning up against the wall. And I go, that motherfucker, how cool is he? Greg knew him. Like it was enough just to see his kid there, and his, and it was, and I could see Sinatra give him a look, and he either went like, who the fuck do you think you are, Stamos? Or it was like, you are one cool motherfucker, Stamos, because you don't need to be in this picture. And it was sweet. My mom, on the other hand, jumped him and almost got killed by a mafia guy.
Do you remember when you tried to kiss me?
Yes, exactly. As he's walking to the fucking stage. I'm like, no, like Lucy. But it was a great, and then Rickles, and then Frank does his thing, and it was brilliant. I mean, he was, and my dad, we both had this great moment of, wow, look at this genius. And Rickles comes out and he introduces the people in the audience, Tony Danza, so-and-so, I couldn't get away from him. And Stamos, he said, he's probably sitting in the grass, in the cheap seats. In fact, he's probably smoking grass. Sinatra grabs the mic from Rickles and says, smoke one for me, Johnny. I said, Dad, I'm cool now, right, man? God. That was a good one. But I had a lot of really normal, relatable moments, too. I just can't think of any right now.
No. all your moments, your dad drove an El Camino. That's pretty relatable. Dude, El Caminos, people sleep on how great they were. I remember the first time I saw an El Camino, and I was like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So my uncle, he works in construction, but he's cool as fuck. My uncle had an El Camino.
Florida?
Yeah. He was down from Philly, and he bought an El Camino.
Okay.
There's wood in the back, but it was a fucking sports car.
Yeah.
God, that was a fucking bad car.
I still have it. But
they make them. They're really big in Australia.
Oh, really?
Will you tell me the Australia story? You said you weren't going to drink. Go ahead.
But wait, have you been there?
Australia?
Yeah, you're big there, right?
I'm bigger than Tom, but yeah.
Yeah. Tom, he tries so hard to have no audience, and yet he has, right?
It's the interesting thing with him is like, I clearly want you to come see my shows. Tom does
He
not
didn't
give
give a fuck. Yeah.
And his act shows it.
But you're like a beaten dog or something. It's like you want to, you just go back to the master.
Yeah, I guess.
Not that you're the dog and he's the master, but
no, his
kind of.
Well, I sometimes I think our relationship's like that. Sometimes
Does he ever just like, you're like, come on, man, I'm an adult. I know what I'm doing here.
Oh, there have been so many times where my biggest frustration with Tom is where I go, I think you're ruining both our careers right now, and he's like, I don't care.
Okay.
He just doesn't care. Like. He's a business partner, and we'll have business deals that'll be about to go through, and then Tom will decide to go in on something, and he burns every bridge, so he's standing on the island alone, and I will just go, hey, man, like, what are we doing here? But he doesn't care, and the thing you have to do is I am forced, and it's not my natural thing. I don't like confrontation, and I don't like alienating people. I am forced to learn from that it's okay to burn every fucking bridge and go. Because the one thing I know is that if I burn every bridge, Tom will definitely be on my island going like, isn't it fun?
But it's not. But boundaries, yes, right?
You will not overstep a boundary with Tom Segura.
Right. But that's maybe something to learn.
Like that motherfucker, you will. There's times I've said, there's people listening to this downstairs that go, I will say, do you realize to my team, if this was Tom, everyone would be fired right now. And they're like, yeah, but you're not Tom. Like I've had employees pull guns on me. Like it's like, yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
But
it was fun. It was a joke.
On you? Pulled a gun on you? Yeah. Prison? Dead?
No, he's
downstairs.
By the way, if he's watching this, he knows he's one of my best friends. I love him to death. I wish we were still working together. I fucking love that guy.
Was he in jail?
No, he just. My wife took over my company.
How great is that, though, that you have a wife that's sharp enough and you can trust her, obviously?
Can I tell you, I wonder, did you ever have the fear of, because like I'm shocked that I'm still attracted to her. I thought I was so shallow as I was younger that I would never be able to be attracted to someone that was age appropriate.
Right.
That I'd always have to go and upgrade down to youth and be like, 30s is what I have sex with.
Okay.
And now I'm married to a 50 some a menopausal woman, and I still find her attractive.
That's beautiful, man.
Can't believe it.
Do you find different things that are attractive?
Oh yeah,
I mean, she steps up and runs your business. That's attractive.
Well, no, that's the least attractive part of her is her business side.
Really?
Yeah. Oh,
But I'm sure she saves you dough. She's in there with a business manager right now talking.
Yeah. Oh, she's the hardest working because she comes from like, I don't know the right way to say this, but like, no money.
Right.
She grew up in trailer parks, like barefoot until 3rd grade. And so like Dolly Parton would send her community books. Like that's, yeah. And so she loves working. She works her ass off. She's going through this thing where it's, we're rediscovering our relationship sexually, and it's been fucking insane. Have you ever been with a chick? Have you ever been with a chick where all of a sudden you're like, whoa, this chick's fucking wild. And you're like, I don't know if I could stay with this forever. My wife just turned into that chick.
Wow.
And now I'm like, it's breathed a brand new fresh air of like, it's crazy because I was totally cool with it being meat and potatoes, right?
Right.
And all of a sudden we're eating Indian food. And I'm like, fuck, I didn't know how much I loved Indian food.
Yeah.
I still love meat and potatoes.
Right.
We still do meat and potatoes sometimes.
Yeah. How often do you guys have sex?
Last night. We had sex last night.
I
We're having it almost every day.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Today? You got it?
No, but we will tonight.
You scream my name or anything?
I will. Right as I have an orgasm.
What got it? What got into you? Is it
Blackie?
Whitey? What? That's beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know. It got into her.
Yeah,
she changed.
You got into her, baby.
No. I was still doing this. I got to be honest with you.
Go ahead.
I was a little nervous when it started changing because I didn't trust it.
You think she was having an affair?
Well,
wait a minute.
Initially, I was like, I think she might have cheated on me in Vietnam.
Really?
Because I was like, what happened? What happened? Why are you all of a sudden this person? I didn't understand it because she was, and the best way to describe it with food, she was salmon.
Mm-hmm.
She was good. It was,
Steak.
it was pretty, no, it's just salmon.
Fish.
It could be dry at times.
Okay.
It was undercooked at times,
Right,
but it was
right.
salmon.
Too cooked.
Salmon, and it was good for you. It felt good.
Right.
It tasted good. You could dress it up, but at
Clean.
the end of the day, it was
Clean,
just salmon.
good, clean fish.
And then one day, she just fucking changed, and all of a sudden, it started with like salmon sushi.
Mm-hmm.
We had sex in our car one night after I did a spot at our house, and I went
Recently?
yeah, and I was like, what the fuck? Like I was like, what's going on? I didn't know what was going on. And then as she started to become more vocal about what she wanted and where she wanted to go with it, I just didn't trust it because I was like, this is a trick, or she did, or she did something. Or she did something and she's trying to course correct.
She went to Vietnam during the war? When was that?
She went to Vietnam.
Is
If
there
she's listening, she can come up and explain it for herself.
Please.
Leanne, feel free. But she went to Vietnam and she just had this, I don't know what happened, but she had this like conversation where she decided she was going to start dating me. And then all of a sudden she was like cooler.
Mm-hmm.
She was like she would never get in the pool. This is a very perfect. She would never get in the pool.
Uh-huh.
Like I love getting in the pool. I get in the pool. If I have a pool, I'm going to get my money's worth.
Yeah, you got to get in the pool.
I get in the pool.
Can she swim? Why not?
She can swim. And she loves the water.
Doesn't want to get
But
wet around
no, I don't want to get wet.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, she's in the. The first change was she was getting in the hot tub every night, and she'd get in naked.
Nude?
Yeah, and be like, "Come on, let's get in the hot tub. Have a glass of wine." She never was like, "Let's have a." She was always like, I'm good. I'm gonna have sparkling water. That's just as good for me as a cocktail. I'm not gonna get in the pool and get my hair wet. I don't want to get my hair wet. Yeah. It's too cold. It's cold. And so like that's Leanne, and that's a real good example of her accent. And then one night it was like, I want to get in the hot tub, and I was like, okay. Mm. And then next thing you know, we're having sex in a car, and then next thing you know, it's like. And then all of a sudden, it got to the point where we had sex on Fully Loaded. I don't know if you guys know this. We had sex in a bathroom at Fully Loaded.
Why?
And Javier, on our tour, and Javier told my daughters, they walked by, and they're like, what are you doing, Javier? He's our security guard. And he's like, someone's having sex in the bathroom. And my daughters, to this day, are guessing it was Big J and Rachel Ardlin. And they've said to Mom, someone had sex in the bathroom. And Mom, to Leanne, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I telling you this?
It's great.
I'm telling you.
Things.
I
think your listeners will enjoy this.
Have you ever had surgery?
On where?
Your arm?
My here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I cut my when I was working at my dad's restaurant. It's not very exciting. I'm going to give you one of these too. I should have brought more. Sex. So how are you going to handle it? Do you need help?
No. Yeah, I'd love to bring you into the bedroom tonight, ladies and gentlemen. John Stamos.
You don't need me. It sounds like.
Just bring up the drums.
Yeah, well, I'll play.
No, it's our relationship's better than it's ever been.
That's beautiful, man. I'm happy for you. How long you guys been together? A long time, right?
Georgia's 19, so we're like 19 years. Wow. No, we've been together 22, but we've been married 20 years.
Right.
Yeah.
But what's in Vietnam?
She went to Vietnam.
A while ago?
She went to Vietnam with friends.
How long ago?
Like 6 months ago.
Oh.
And one of the ladies they were like sharing a room, and the woman was like, was talking about a relationship and how she started dating her husband again. And Leanne just was like, yeah, I'm going to date my husband.
That's so cool.
And it's crazy because I've always said I've loved her more than she loves me. And now all of a sudden I'm like, it feels equal.
That's great.
Yeah.
I hope, I gotta send my wife to Vietnam.
How long have you been married?
5, 6 years or something.
Yeah.
We last night. So I'm leaving. Getting ready for this book tour. There's a lot of stuff. I'm going to New York soon. And
are you doing Stern?
Uh-huh.
That's gonna be.
I want to talk about you.
Oh, please bring
I'll
me
try
up.
to bring it
up.
Yeah. Anyway, he would love it. I think he would love it. Has Tom been on there?
No, but so one of our friends got into a fight with Stern, Ari Shaffir. He like called him out on Rogan. I guess Stern and Rogan don't like each other, so I think our whole little group, probably Stern it wouldn't be worth his time when he can get guys like you or Steven Spielberg or fucking Paul Simon.
Yeah, I bet you he's not even aware of that.
I don't.
But I think him and Rogan had a thing, right? Briefly or something. But Howard.
Yeah, it was over the vaccine stuff.
Last night, so she says we're gonna have a date night on Monday night, and we do this once in a while, surprise date night. So we'll go to some rooftop somewhere or some exotic kind of cool restaurant, something romantic usually. One time I took her to this art thing, and we got to paint on the walls. It was really sexy. Cool. So date night. I said, great, okay, great. And I'm tired. I got a lot to do, but I said, okay, it's important that we spend date nights. And I said, what do I wear? She said, boots. Wear boots. Okay, boots. Okay, and this outfit. Yeah, it's okay. Jacket or no? We wear maybe. And so we're driving up at about. She said, we got to be there by 6. I was like, okay. We're driving up in the hills somewhere, and we're going. And I said, what? Are you gonna tell me what it is? It's a surprise. She said, yeah, we're going to a Disney legend party, and all the fans will be there, and there are going to be a couple Disney legends there. Huh. I'm like, what? That's not how's that date night? I got to take fucking selfies for the. We get there at 6:20. We leave at 10:30. She's pissed off. I'm literally taking, it's just nice people, but it's not a date night. Yeah. And I'm better this guy, that guy. And they're all, Disney, they're kind of, and she gets, and it was like 10 o'clock. And she's like, come on, it's time to take a tour of the house. The house is about this big. I said, I've seen enough. Let me sit in the kitchen. And the whole way home, she's pissed at me for not, you didn't want to be with me. Wait a minute. If anybody has any issues here, I have the issue with this bullshit date night. Anyway, so we were fine. We woke up and she said, I'm sorry. I only meant 80% of the things I said last night. Okay, good.
Knott's Berry Farm's fucking awesome.
Yeah, scary. Knott's Berry Farm.
The best. Their fried chicken is the best fried chicken I've ever had.
Have you been there?
I've been there. So I used to have a show where I went to theme parks for a living.
I missed
that. It's called Bert the Conqueror, where I rode roller coasters.
Or all your shows have Bert in the name of them?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
You rode roller coasters? Yeah. I hate scary roller coasters.
Oh, Knott's Berry Farm's got some great ones.
Yeah. I grew up literally 10 minutes from Knott's Berry Farm.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you used to go there as a kid.
Yeah. I went to see, yeah. Do you take your kids to Disneyland and stuff?
I don't go to Disneyland. I used to when they were
want to
kids.
get recognized. That's the place.
Yeah,
to go,
that's the fucking. That's talk about going to Paramus.
Oh yeah, that's
you can't go to Disneyland anymore.
I do. She wants me to go. We were just in Paris.
Oh, because
Disney Paris.
Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm. And it's beautiful. And we were. My kid, he knows. He's a bit of a playa already or whatever. He's got girls. And that wasn't me. I wasn't like that. But Caitlin had a lot of boyfriends apparently. And Garcia saw it at my birthday party. He's got like 4 or 5, Bella and Stella and Isabella, and he's looking at me like, "Dad, help!" I'm like, "Fuck you, kid. You got get yourself into this." But what's that? Yeah, he's 5. Oh yeah, he's 5. And it's not good, but he has this one girlfriend. So we were at Disney. The first day we had this tour guide, and she was a 50-year-old nice woman. He didn't give a shit. Next day, this 30-year-old beautiful French girl is our tour guide, and I can overhear him. And now, this move, I'm married, so I can't use it. But his move is like this. So, what's my favorite color? He starts quizzing them on his favorite shit. What's my favorite food? Pizza. And then I overhear him saying that I have this girlfriend named Bella, and she lives down the street, and she's really nice. I'm okay. And then the tour guide says, "Excuse me, I have to go to the restroom." And she gets up. I swear to God, as soon as she gets right out of earshot, he goes, "Why did I tell her I had a girlfriend?" Like he had a shot at her, Yeah, but we're very. I don't know how you were with your dog, but we're very much like respect women. No means no. Like we didn't have. I just followed my dad. He was great to my mom and my sisters.
Yeah.
But we have those conversations with him, and I think it's important.
I thank God I don't have a boy. I just
Really?
have girls. I was like,
Right.
just stay away from fucking boys.
Yeah.
So
Do they have boyfriends?
No.
Because of you?
I
Are
don't
they
know.
afraid?
I think. Well, they just got attractive, so.
Now, what about that's not nice. I want to talk to these poor girls because what about the Isla who you said terrible shit about her?
Oh yeah. I've said horrible
What
stuff.
kind of?
She's happy.
She is.
Yeah.
What kind of setbacks happened there with her? Let me see them.
I'm looking for.
I guarantee you guys are very close and they love you.
We have a chat thread called Baby Walrus.
Oh, what?
Baby Walrus.
What?
Isla just. Isla is. She's great. She's at.
Should we call her?
Wants to learn the drums.
Well, I'll teach her.
Oh yeah.
I'll try to undo everything you did to her.
Let's see if we get her on the
Build her
phone.
confidence back up. And I don't care if she's dyslexic. You don't have to.
She's really dyslexic.
You can be to play drums.
The other day, she was like, "They're outlawing adoption in Mississippi." I said, "That says abortion." She goes, "Oh, so they want orphans." I was like, "Fuck." My face is so big when you hold it this close.
Yeah. This is really. I'm so grateful that you had me on here.
No,
because,
you're amazing. You're amazing.
I've been
You've
doing these serious podcasts the last, and I just, I love.
What's
guys
the
like
rest of
you.
your tour look like? You doing Giannis's in New York?
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, we just talked about it on the phone. Yeah, well, we'll do. Yes.
Yeah.
I love that cat.
You doing? There's a bunch you can do over in New York.
It's a lot of books.
Well,
Did you ever
You're
do
like
book signings?
famous. Like you can do a reading and people show up. You can go do Good Morning America, the
I'm doing
Today
that.
Show.
Doing that.
You can do Stern.
Doing
Like
it.
you can do your options
Fallon.
are Fallon.
Have you been on Fallon?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys are so popular.
No, I did Kimmel the other day.
That's great.
Yeah,
He's a
Kimmel's
friend of mine.
great. I think you basically I think how it works is you pick one of the guys picks you to do their shows.
Yeah.
I've known Kimmel because of Kimmel Corolla from Man Show for fucking ever.
Yeah.
Kimmel's the sweetest guy in the world. He
Sweetest.
was awesome. He was awesome. Doing his show did not feel
I
like
think
you're
I
doing
saw-
a late
when
night
was
talk
it?
show. It was last week.
What were you promoting? Me on the
Nothing.
show? Yeah.
I don't think I was promoting anything.
He's the best. I've known him a long
Yeah.
time too. Fallon's. That was the joy. I was always a Kimmel guy.
Did you ever get to do Carson?
I did, but
Joan
he
Rivers?
wasn't. It was Leno was filling in for him,
Oh, for real?
and I did it with Rickles.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I got to do a few. We were on a few shows together, and of course, I just sit there. But and Kimmel, we went on Kimmel together a couple times.
So when I look in my mirror and I see my face, I can see the parts I'm aging. What do you see? Do you ever
in
see
you?
it? No, no.
I'm serious. I don't get it.
Do you see any flaws?
Is it ever like when we hit a big laugh like this? Is it time to wrap it up, or we just keep going?
That's it for this episode.
No,
guys.
I'm not done.
I like to do more
Oh, well, let's
when
go.
I'm not with Tom because Tom's like a little draining.
I actually, he was like, "Is Segura gonna be there?" And I said, "I don't know." And I looked at the thing, and he said, "He has guests on when."
Tom
And
wants to. He likes it better when we take good periods apart.
Uh-huh.
So he likes to try to plan out the bits he's going to do on the show.
On the show?
Yeah, Tom's really scripted.
I thought that I said to him, I said, I think it's just me and I thought it might be easier just with the two of us.
It's definitely. Oh, if you were with Tom, it would be like talking to a wall.
Really?
Oh,
Does he laugh at it?
no, he doesn't laugh.
He
He
huh?
doesn't, and he's barely listening. He's on his phones looking at prices of Porsches, and then immediately be like, "Why aren't you wearing a watch? How come you don't get watches?" Like,
Is his
he's-
mom still around? He talked about the
Yeah,
mother.
his mom. Yeah,
Is she nice?
Charo is a fucking.
Yeah, she sounds nice.
She's awesome. She's great. She's, I think, the majority of his material these days.
Yeah, right.
She is fucking awesome. His dad was a legend.
His
I think
last
his sisters
special-
are fucking amazing.
His last special was his best, I think.
That's so funny. That's not what the fans say.
Well,
That's so funny.
I thought he was. That looks like.
That is him. Yeah, this is.
I really did think that special was fantastic.
Yeah, I haven't
In case
seen
he's
it.
listening.
I love the location he shot it in. I love that place.
Where was it? I
The
can't
Celebrity Center in
Was it on
Scientology.
Hollywood?
Celebrity Theater. Celebrity Theater in Phoenix, Arizona, in the Brown. That's one of the best locations.
What's your
gorgeous.
favorite place to play? Non-stadium.
No, like just a theater or like a comedy club?
Either. Yeah. Comedy clubs. Do you go? Do you just pop in to the Comedy Store and these kind of places?
Yeah, not as much. Like some trying to.
You're too big.
No.
Because Pryor used to show up.
Yeah, everyone does.
Who's your favorite comic stand-up of all time? First.
Oh, all time, it's got to be. I'm a huge Kinnison fan, but David Tell is my favorite comic. I love him. I think he's a genius. He's my favorite. Rickles, I loved Rickles.
Did you see him live ever?
No, I never met him. Only one I ever met out of that generation, or not the generation. I met George Carlin once.
Oh yeah, was he nice?
He was very sweet,
smart guy. We would go up to Vegas and see him, Rickles all the time.
God,
I'd be at dinner with him, and it would be, he would say on stage, and his wife, would say, "Don, you can't say that word," but he would always do it with like, Mau Mau fighter pilot, or what am I? Werewolf, he'd say.
Yeah.
And his wife said, "You can't say that anymore." And he said, "I didn't say it tonight. John, did I say it?" I said, "Yeah, shut up. You did say it 5 times, Don." It was like that. It was the 3 of us. And he'd say, well, it's funny. It sounds funny. He said, "Well, it's not good, Don. You can't say it anymore. Shut up, John." And then I'd stick him with a bill and go home. I don't think to be honest, to be serious here for a second, like he was the least racist, bigoted man on the planet.
Yeah.
He brought it to your attention like Archie Bunker would, right? And if people were laughing at it or were offended by it, there's the racist. You're the racist. He was, so full of love for everybody. And
he was a legend. I saw him on Letterman one time talk about Puerto Ricans stabbing each other, and it was the
Maria.
Yeah.
I don't even know Maria. Most of the time I knew where he was going, and I was at most dinners. And he always had me sit next to him. He smelled so nice too. I miss it.
Really?
He was like just an old sweet, like a baby.
Do you use cologne?
No. Do I smell it?
I don't use cologne.
We don't need it.
I've never used cologne.
No.
I've used it. I only wore it once, and that was going to Sebastian Maniscalco's show.
Or to scare away.
I put it on because I was like, everyone's gonna have it on.
Yeah, that guy.
And then I saw him, and I was like, I have cologne on. He was like, "For what?" And I said, "It was your show." Yeah. And he was like, I didn't think he took it as a compliment.
He's funny. I would wear my dad's cologne, Aramis. He would have, and I'd put it on to pick up chicks, and it didn't work. I remember
the last cologne I wore was Obsession.
Oh yeah,
Drakkar and Obsession.
Oh yeah,
those were the fucking ones.
Wait, we were talking about Rickles.
David Tell was my favorite comic.
What were we saying about his? Oh, I would sit next to him, and I would know. I knew his story, where he was, and I knew what everybody wanted to hear. Talk about when Frank, went up to your table and said, "Not now, Don." The famous. And I'd sort of organically lead him into it. Sometimes, most of the time, it was great because I knew what they want, and other times, shut up! I know what I'm going. Anyway, assholes trying to tell me a story. But sometimes he would do something, and I'd be like, I would always know where he was going for the most part.
Yeah.
And he had these Rolodex, Jew and everything. But he would throw a curveball in there sometimes. I'd be like, where the fuck did that come from? He knew, he read all the magazines, like People magazine. So you walk into any restaurant, and he would see, Susan Anton, and he would have 5 jokes about her or something.
Really?
Yeah. He was very, very sharp. All the way till the end, he was very sharp. Am I boring you?
No. I know. He was. God, he was a fucking legend. There won't be anything like that. The way that he'd panel was so him, Rodney, all those guys were so always in the pocket. Same with Buddy Hackett. Like those guys were
that was
just
Jeff Ross guys.
Yeah. Jeff Ross loved.
Who do you like now? Who's the up and comers?
I don't know. It's hard to say because people are moving up so quickly. Like 2 of the guys that last year opened for me at Red Rocks are two of the biggest comics in the country, Mark Norman and Shane Gillis. And so
how was Red Rocks? Was that great playing there?
Fucking amazing.
Do you just get like if you would have told me like fucking Red Rocks and the people go nuts when you walk out and then you take your shirt off and things?
It's crazy. Like if you, I like it's why I loved your book. Is if you would have told me, I've said that so many times. If you would have told me, I said first time I did Red Rocks, I had the crew that was working for me for Travel Channel was shooting me, and I said if you would have told me I was working Red Rocks and you guys would be my crew. And my sound guy, John Sales, said, I would have bet $1 million this would never happen. Yeah. And I said, really? He goes, in a million fucking years. Yeah. I went to Florida State. I was flying to Florida State in a private jet to go to a game where they were like I was like, if you told me when I was graduating college. First of all, that I'd be on a private jet.
Did you graduate college?
Kinda.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Did you want someone better looking than Ryan Reynolds to play you in the Van Wilder thing? No.
I didn't.
Sorry.
I know he was. I still think he saw it.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
If you would have told me, right? But you know what it forces you to do is to be grateful.
Oh.
I think, And then before I wrote this book, I would say I had a lot of regrets. I shouldn't have. And I wrote it, and I go, I don't have any regrets
I was
because
thinking of that.
because of this. Like, it would have been great to go through life without, the heartbreak that I felt and losing my parents that is still with me to this day, losing Bob, and divorce. But I wouldn't have, like, if I didn't straighten up the DUI, and if I didn't go through some of the heartache, I wouldn't know how to be the right person for Caitlin and the right father for Billy.
That is a perfect way to end this podcast. I was thinking of that today after my polar plunge. I said, would I do things differently? Absolutely fucking not. And I would still, all the bad shit, I would go. And I was wondering that with you. I was like, wonder if you would have done, like, your dad, who's it? It wasn't your dad who said, no, it was Dean Martin. When you went to lunch and the lady was trying to convince you to stay at General Hospital. Mm-hmm. And he's like, leave now. Yeah. I was like, God, you played that perfectly. So many people didn't. The guy who's Patch, that guy. Patch. Remember him, that guy?
Yeah.
He never left.
It's a golden handcuffs situation, right?
Hence the yeah.
Yeah.
But it is. I saw you on Giannis's stories on his Instagram a long time ago, and I thought, how fucking cool he knows John Stamos. Like, I literally was like, I think I texted him.
I couldn't believe when I saw that you wanted me on the show. They said, oh, I don't know, where did they pitch me for your show? Did you?
No, I ever since I saw you on Giannis's, Christine was the first one. I saw you on Giannis's. I texted Giannis. I go, how do you know John Stamos?
Really?
He's like, he's a great guy. I'll introduce you. And I was like, I was like, no, I don't want to fuck it up. Like, he's too, like, you're Hollywood royalty. You have a part in all of our childhoods. You've been around when we went and left and went to college. Every part of our lives you've been in.
You can't get rid of me.
And you look the fucking same.
I'm honored to be on your show. I think you're such a talented guy. And now meeting you in person, you're such a kind man. I can see it in your eyes. And
thank you.
You're a good man, and I'm lucky to know you.
I can't wait to start our friendship. I'll give you Tom's number.
Do you have Tom's number? I was going to ask that.
Bert and Tom and Bert. One goes topless while the other wears a shirt. Tom tells stories and Bert's the machine. There's not a chance in hell that they'll keep it clean. Here's what we call Two Bears, One Cave.